Hello, hello, everyone. Happy, what day of the week are we on? Monday. Why did I think this was a Tuesday? It's not. It's Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I'm glad to see everybody here. I don't want to take too long. I know you guys came for the jail call. So without further ado, please let me bring up our beloved Alex Erickson, waiting for Jen Crime Curious. Hi.
Hi. Hey, can you hear me on these headphones?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but like turn it down just a tiny bit because I think you might be talking too close or something. You sound like you're on top of the mic.
Okay, what about now?
Better.
Is that better at all?
That's better. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
How you doing, babe?
Hi.
It's been like 7 years since we've talked.
I know. I'm just over here sad because I'm been kicked out of the fort, and
Well, I don't get to get in the fort either because apparently I'm not between 10 and 6. Although you might want to mention to Bentley that I have a 4 and a 6 in my age. Is there a possible? Is it possible there's a loophole?
Hey, 4 and 6 is 10.
It is. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. All right, so we've got some calls to listen to tonight, and we're going to listen to them. I would encourage everybody to remember, listen, I enjoy everybody's opinion, especially when they're different. And there's nothing, you can have whatever opinion you want in the chat. You can talk about, you can have whatever opinion you want, but what you cannot do is be disrespectful to me or to Allie or to Jen or to each other in the chat. You can absolutely disagree with each other. That's fine. A little healthy debate never hurt anybody, and it's good for everybody. So that's cool, but don't be calling each other names. Come on, keep it cool. The only rule for this chat is to be cool. Don't be all uncool. All right.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
like Jen, Crime Curious Jen had told us when we started these calls at the beginning of the month that these are there's a lot of Harley calls. Okay, so we're going to hear a lot of calls between Letecia and Harley. And I know people have their opinions about Harley, and that's cool. But we just don't be nice to each other about our differing opinions.
Yep.
All right, let me make
And
this
we get to start tonight with a couple calls
I got
from
us
friend
all
Amy.
right to where we need to be. Oh, good, because friend Amy. Now, if you don't remember where we left off with friend Amy, okay, friend Amy was explaining Letecia's charges to her. She said, listen, Letecia, I am not saying that you did it or you didn't do it. I'm just telling you what your charges are, okay? This is what you have been charged with. That is why you're there. That was the last call we heard from friend Amy, right? Yes, because we didn't hear from her last night. Okay.
Wait, I think she was at the end last night, the very last one. Remember that it was all about Harley, the money, and Harley not listening to Brenda and all of that. Was she the last one, or I don't know?
Yeah.
They're all running.
The last one that you guys did last night was Amy. Amy B.
So yeah, that's where we're going. Okay. Oh, I remember now because I remember Aunt Brenda has a name for Amy. All right. So without further ado, I will add the calls to the stage. Hopefully I can. Oh, thank you, Jen, for turning on the subtitles. I appreciate that, babe. I love a subtitle.
And I'm not exactly sure if White Amy is Amy Lang or Amy Bolton. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Nobody should be. That should not be anybody's name.
Right.
Brenda.
Right.
Lordy B. All right. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Hey, what are you doing?
Just finished up school.
Oh, yeah.
So I talked to Harley like you told me to, and she just said that she was just really upset because she thinks you don't trust her, and just because other people are doing things doesn't mean she's doing them. So like if someone else in the house is smoking weed, doesn't mean she is, and that she just would hope that you knew you raised her better.
But didn't I say, I already said that to you, but it's not about other people who are guilty by association.
And we talked about that, and I just told her, and we talked about the money and stuff, and she's like, I don't even want money if my mom doesn't trust me with it, then I just don't want it. But she said, so we talked for a little while. She was upset. She kind of started to cry too. You know, I told her you were
upset. My call. You know. She won't answer my call.
So she won't. So she told me, she needs some time to herself for her mental health. She's like, she called me back, like after we talked, and she told me that the cartridges and stuff are Charlotte's. She said nobody threw up in the car. You know, the person that does weed and stuff would be like Tono, not her. You know, she said she doesn't even like to drink because you get sick when you drink, and with how small she is. And I don't remember what else she said about money. I mean, she said that she didn't mean to go to Black Lives Matter rallies, that they went for like something else and the rally was there, but she didn't go intentionally for it. And she's just like, I wish my mom would talk to me first instead of listening to what everybody else says. She's like, that's what upsets her. She said that, I guess you don't trust her, but she's like, my mom raised me. She should know I'm a good kid. I'm like, yeah.
Okay, I believe all that, but that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is this. If somebody's patrolling that area, if somebody goes up there, who do you think is getting in trouble? You think one person in that house, or you think everybody?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I told her that, too. You know? Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I wasn't worried about that part with her. I know her father died.
Well, and that's what she said. She said, what? You can drug test me. And I'm like, you know, my roommate smokes weed. I don't do it.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, they could come in my house and arrest me if I'm there, but then, you know, down the road when they would drug test me, I would be fine.
Right.
But it would still be bad at first.
Exactly.
And she's like, what do you want me to do? She's like, where do I go? She's like, these are the people I live with. She's like, I'm in a college house. There's nothing I can do. She's like, these are college kids. That's what they do. Right. She's like, I don't know where you guys want me to go. And I was like, I mean, you're welcome to come stay here, but I know you just don't want to. I know you don't have any friends here, and I don't know. I just don't think the house that she's living in is the best choice.
I don't want her to be there.
I told her
going to
that.
talk to you about next. Because here's what and then I got to talk to you about something else that's going to blow your mind. But anyway, I don't want her there because I think that she's never been around anything like that. So therefore, even though she's not being involved with it, it still does affect her because she's having to accept that culture regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And so either A, she needs to move into another place and still pay the same rent, which it's not about me not trusting her with the money. It's not about some lifestyle. Like you made the comment about she don't have that lifestyle. Harley never spent money like that. See, that's the thing people don't realize. Yes, we do what we wanted when we wanted, but all of our bills were paid. We wasn't like stupid about it. You see what I'm saying? I never mismanaged money, and I told Harley that. Where I feel like it was being affected was they were influencing her because I went back and looked, and not only did she have that money from then, right? All right, she had the money from $2,700 from me. She had 2 Social Security checks. Okay, this was on the bank statement. She had 2 Social Security checks. She had $2,500 from me. She had a stimulus check from me, and then she had a Pikes Peak refund. So where did all that go? My point is...
And the statements don't show you where it goes or anything?
Yeah, it does. I seen what she spent stuff on. But my point is, like you were talking about that pyramid stuff. That is an adult taking advantage of a child. They're still got a child's mind.
Melissa doing that.
I mean, yeah. And see, her and Charlotte still have a child's mind, regardless. At the end of the day, they do. Just because they turn 18 doesn't mean they don't.
I know that. That's what I've said. Yeah.
So her influencing them like that pisses me off. Her taking
it pisses me off too.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. Look, I don't want black people shot. I don't think. Yes. I think all that is a bunch of crack of bullshit to treat people based on their color. But when you are a child who is terrified of, like, people getting in a fight, you don't need to be at a Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
The child won't even, she doesn't even like people to argue.
know. So why is Melissa doing these things? I don't know.
So,
I guess Melissa was like,
let me tell you why. For years, I've had to hear how she wishes Charlotte was more like Harley. For years. Charlotte used to get so upset and come to the house and be like, yeah, my mom just wants Harley to be her kid. Because Harley's more in line with, like, Charlotte's a little more, she's a minimalistic person. You know, she's more into, like, rap music and a little bit folk stuff, you know what I'm saying? Where Harley wasn't like that. So that's where, you know, the whole situation is. You know what I'm saying? So what I want you to do is tell Harley, I want her to answer the phone when I call her tomorrow. But because I'm going to go crazy not talking to her. And it's not that I don't.
I know, I told her that, and she just told me she just needed a break. And I think yesterday she just needed to kind of calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, her biggest thing was she's like, my mom always takes everybody else's side but mine. And she used to do that with Al all the time, and it makes me upset. That was upset her.
Okay, well, first off, one, I'm supposed to take my spouse's side anyway. That's how the Bible says, right? Two, if you were to get, okay, here's where I got pissed at. If y'all would have said something to me prior, then I could have been handled this situation. But me going all this time without knowing it, it causes it to escalate. And that's what she has.
Wait, you didn't know she was living with them this whole time?
No. I knew that part, okay? But here's what I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with it being boys.
I thought that you might not have known that. Yeah.
I didn't agree with that because who in the right mind? You see what I'm saying? They're older.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense. Two, I know what it's like to be, trust me, to be roped into something when you shouldn't be. So I want that for my child. Do all they want
I don't
to
want
me.
it for her.
Do all they want to me, but not to a child. I don't believe in that shit. I would never hurt a child, never do anything to a child, but nothing but love them. So no.
Yeah, and I told her she can come live with me. I mean, I'm like, you're welcome. I have an extra room. You can live with me. I'm like, I am going to make you get a job. Like, I won't make you pay rent, but, like, I'm going to make you get a job, and I'm going to make you pay for your own car. And, you know, my mom's going to get you a car from Toyota, but she doesn't want to come live with me.
Here's what the thing is. I think the thing about living with you is, like you said, she just don't know people, right? I feel like, though, if she did this, I feel like if she took the money and get the car, which I'll talk to you about in a minute anyway, and she got her car, paid her insurance up for, a year, whatever, and then I think she needs to get her a full-time job. Here's why. I don't foresee them. Are you guys going to class in Charleston? Your students? Yeah. I have some in person, some online. Okay. I don't see Coastal going back in January in class.
Well, Carly said she doesn't even have money to pay her tuition. She doesn't know she's going back.
She shouldn't have to pay anything for tuition because she's eligible
That's
for
what
a Pell Grant. This is where she's got to listen to me and stop listening to Melissa.
And she's got to, I told her, I said, have you sat down and talked with the financial aid person? I said, Harley, you shouldn't have to spend a dime.
No, not right now, because here's why. Even though my last year's taxes say one thing, that's not applicable right now. So they can't count the money. So
they can't count your income with her.
Not now. They could, technically, if I was still working, but they can't now.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'd said, have you made an appointment with financial aid? No.
She doesn't
you need to do those things.
She doesn't have. Melissa's telling them one thing, because, see, they get free school, right? Because he early retired from the Air Force, so he gets the GI Bill, and the GI Bill goes to the kids. So they get about like $1,400 a piece every month. Plus their schools pay for free and their campus housing. So that's why she's getting misguided.
Which is weird, because Melissa, when they tried to get me to do that pyramid scheme, they wanted me to sign up. She's like, I'm just trying to get the girls to be able to pay their rent, and this is one of the ways they're going to do it. This is how they can make money to pay rent. And I'm like, I'm just not interested in stuff like this. I'm like, but I also don't think stuff like this works.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Harley needs to listen to me and stop listening to everyone else. Because I'm trying to tell her the way that she can go through it. She could go to, let's say she went to stay with you and she went to college in Charleston, right?
Mm-hmm.
She would have it paid for because a federal Pell Grant is going to be $5,700. That's going to be enough. And then eventually, all she has to do is work her full-time job, and then she can buy whatever she wants. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And right now she's only working. She said she's only making like $400 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So she's only making $800 a month. And she
Right.
told me that now with Brenda not helping her, she can't afford it. And so, I mean, I offered my house, but I don't know what else to offer her. I can't give her money to live there. I don't have that.
No, here's the thing. I was going to give her that money to pay for there. But once I decided that that's not a good option, that's why I'm trying to get her to answer the phone, because I'd rather her either A, if she wants to stay in Myrtle Beach, get another place.
Okay.
I'd rather do that. Or B, if she wanted to go stay with you, I'd rather her be able to give you some money once she got there and got settled and got a job, and then she'd have a car paid for. Do you see what I'm saying? She would meet plenty of people in Charleston. What I don't like is Melissa's convinced her into not majoring in medical stuff. Now she's convinced her into majoring in marketing.
Oh, Jesus.
See what I'm saying?
Harley always wanted to do like the nursing. Like she wanted to do like flight nurse. Remember first it was veterinarian. And
this is why it's pissing me off, because she's saying I don't talk to her. She don't listen to me when I'm trying to tell her to stop listening to this lady, because they pyramid scheme people forever.
And she tried to tell me it wasn't a pyramid scheme. I'm like, it sounds like it. And she's like, no, it's not. It's something. I'm like, no, it sounds like a pyramid.
They call it not being one, but it is, kind of.
It sounded just like it to me when they explained it. And I just said, listen, and I told Harley, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's good for you to do. Like, you need a real job. And then we were going to get her, Charlotte had her a job at Barefoot Resort doing like, working at the resort. She could do beer carts, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Harley never followed up with Charlotte on it.
Well, Harley probably doesn't want to do anything like that with alcohol.
No, she said she would. She said she'd like to do something like that, just driving around the cart and stuff. But yeah, she does.
Oh, I see what
and they're old. She's old enough to serve it. Yeah, she's old enough to serve it. But or just anything, she could be
at the apartment complex.
Charlotte. Oh, I'm talking about Charlotte. My friend
Charlotte.
Your Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte. Remember our Charlotte used to work at Barefoot.
Yes.
So even though she's in Maryland now, she still had connections and was going to try to help get Harley a job at Barefoot.
Yeah.
Because Harley said she wasn't making enough money. And Harley's like, yeah, Barefoot's nice. But now she doesn't have a car.
Well, I want you to text Harley and tell her that I'm going to need to talk to her soon. And it ain't me to argue with her. It's to talk to her about the department's not going to work out. And that let's come up with the best option for her to get her out of an environment that she's going to get accused. Honestly, to tell you the truth,
she doesn't think that environment's bad. That's the problem.
Well, it is. And she ain't gonna
I know that Dee Dee said it and my mom said it. Everybody said it, but she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want someone to tell her, hey, we don't think your friend is the best person to be around.
Right. But think about this.
You have 1 minute remaining.
She doesn't have the money to pay for it. What else can she do? Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I said I didn't want to give her the money, right?
Yeah. I'm still afraid that Melissa will just pay for her.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to call you right back from my account for free, okay? Because I got to tell you about something else. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Okay, I was debating just going into the next call, but I think we all need a moment to gather our thoughts, because this is some... Letecia, 2 weeks ago, you didn't know what year it was. You didn't know where you were. You're out here at vampire camp, and this month you're preparing for eating season, which I've never even heard of such a thing with vampires. I'm pretty sure every day is eating season with vampires. I mean, I don't know. And then you think that you're going to be giving out life advice because your life choices have been wonderful. Look where you're at, ma'am. Ugh. Jen?
Yeah, guilt by association. I believe that Harley, of all people, understands how guilt by association works, Letecia.
Yes.
She is guilty by association of being your daughter. But okay, so one thing that I did pick up on is when Leticia's talking to Amy in that phone call we just listened to, she
Mhm.
did say that Harley's father died of a drug overdose.
She did. She did.
But Amy kind of like talked over her a little bit, so it was real easy to miss. But the thing that just bothers me is, the idea that Harley is crying while she's talking to Amy, who Letecia told Amy to call her. So the last call that you guys did yesterday was Letecia talking to Amy, and she tells her, to call her. And then this call, she calls Amy, and the first thing is, well, I called Harley like you told me to, and here's what happened. But in between those two calls, the call that we listened to last night and the call that we just started with today, Letecia tried to call Harley 10 times.
Yes. She also
Exactly
mentioned
10
that.
times. Yeah. She tried to call her 10 times, and I looked at the record to verify it. As soon as she said that, Harley wouldn't answer, I was like, oh, let's see if she's lying. But no, she did in fact try to call Harley 10 times, and Harley didn't answer at all. But the idea that Harley is crying because her mom doesn't trust her with all that money. First of all, the money does not exist. And here Harley is crying because her mother has just taken away, $25,000 that was going to include a $15,000 car. I mean, so here Harley's crying. It's not even real. And here's Letecia telling everybody, I'm gonna make Harley sweat. I'm gonna make Harley wait and worry.
Yeah,
Because
shut up,
she,
CNC
yeah,
Music Factory. You ain't finna make nobody sweat.
right. And then Letecia tells Amy, well, you make sure that Harley takes my call because I'm gonna go crazy not talking to her.
And that's guilt.
Again, it's Harley's fault. So if Letecia loses her
Right.
mind, it's Harley's fault. And right, like the last phone call, she's talking to Amy and she's like, "Wait, you're a teacher?" And now she's like, "Hey, are your students in class? I mean, are you guys going to the
Right.
campus?"
And she knows the breakdown of financial aid.
Right.
Letecia, I don't know what I mean, in theory, what you're saying is accurate, but your numbers are wrong. I don't know if you're quoting college tuition prices from 1997 or what, ma'am, but your rates the money seems awfully low that you're talking about. And what is wrong with being in marketing? Yes, if you have to choose, okay, the medical field will always have job security because people will always, require, medical intervention, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, a CNA, an LPN, any of that, radiologist, all that stuff. Something in the medical field, you will always have job security. Okay. But not everybody is cut out for the medical field. Not everybody is cut out for it.
Yeah. And I think
It's
that
a
another
tough field to be in.
factor. Okay, so they clearly want to get Harley out of this living situation that she's in. I mean, and she's not living with a
Yes,
murderer, but
right, because the guilt by association. And let me just
right.
briefly state here, I have to say I 100% agree with you that who knows better than Harley about guilt by association, given the fact that all of her possessions are locked up at the El Paso County Sheriff's Department because she's part of a murder investigation because her mom killed an 11-year-old, her
Right.
stepbrother, he'd say.
Right,
now.
but by all means, please, tangentially,
I love that word.
explain to me what guilt by association means, Mom. You
Right.
asshole. Sorry. But one thing I did want to point out to you is remember that Melissa and her husband, which are, Charlotte and Tono's parents, and I thought for a while that Charlotte was Dee Dee's kid, but I guess I was wrong. I guess Melissa is Charlotte's mom. I don't know. But the one that they're saying is into all these pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
And
Get with the times, ladies.
Melissa,
It's called multi-level marketing now. Sheesh.
right,
They're MLMs.
right.
Come on. Get with the times.
But
Pyramid schemes, Amway, that's 1980s.
right. But Melissa wanted to adopt Harley, and Letecia found out about it
Yes.
while she was in jail. And
Yes.
she has been angry about that ever since.
Yes.
And
That has
the
been stuck in her crawl the entire time. That's the call, you guys, that we were telling you about, where Letecia tells Harley, don't call me mom.
right. Right. And so Letecia is still pissed off about that. And the way that she told Amy, I've had to listen to Melissa tell me how she wishes Charlotte was more like Harley for years. And so now Letecia is going to get a gang of people to rescue Harley from this horrible situation that she's in. Like, it's practically dangerous. Somebody's going to get arrested.
Yeah.
Oh, Letecia.
So
I just
Pitbull
found
wants, what do you think, Allie?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just found it really annoying to hear the way they're talking about. Harley is a young kid who has no parents, and she's been, like, her whole life has been took upside down. I just cannot imagine being so cruel and selfish. Number one, first of all, she can live wherever the hell she wants, but how do you know what's best for her at this point? You know what I mean? Look at the situation you've got her in, and you're obviously not there with her. So, it's just so frustrating. I cannot stand it. And now, one other thing, and then I'm done. I do have a question about Amy. I wonder, do you know how they met? Because it's just curious that she's a teacher too.
Oh, they knew each other
Yeah.
since they were kids.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They've been close since childhood.
Okay, and then Pitbull wants us to address this comment. How about telling Amy about all this money Harley had, but Amy's mom helped pay for an attorney?
Right.
But here Letecia is listing all of this money that Harley has. See, now if I
Right.
were Amy, I'd be like, new phone, who dis? That'd be it for me. I don't see how
Well,
anybody really talks to her, if I'm being quite frank. Now, I could see writing to Letecia, but talking to her on the phone, hell no.
yeah.
Wait, did I not get the right one, Pitbull? Is this not the one you wanted me to address, babe? Hold on, let me see if there's another one. I'm sorry. I don't see
Sure.
another one.
When you talk about, like, wanting to talk to her, remember, she didn't have any calls up the couple months leading up to her trial. So looks like they got to that point.
Exactly. Oh, is that the one you wanted me to address, Pitbull? Or is there another one that I missed somehow? Let me see. I see a thank you. Let me scroll up. Please address my last comment.
She said yes, and then she said there are a few. So I think yes, it was, but there was a few comments.
Yeah, so the last comment you made was about how about telling Amy about the money. Let me say this too. Crime Mom, thank you for joining memberships. Welcome to the ward. I appreciate it. Let me see if I see another one. I'm scrolling way up here. So if I miss it, will you type it out again if there's another one you want addressed? Pitbull, please. Because I went too far. I can't even talk. Just retype it and I will star it and I will address it after this. Yeah, this is another good point, Pitbull. Guilt by association and taking Harley across the states with Gannon. You're right about that.
Right.
Okay, it's 3 up. All right, let me look. I don't. Maybe that was it. That one, the guilt by association one. I think I got it. Because that's true. I mean, that's why she is being investigated. That's why she doesn't have the $800 camera. That's why she doesn't have the her other vehicle, because yeah. Can you guys hear me still?
I can.
Hello. Okay. All right, good.
I can hear you. It just, I couldn't get it to unmute, but yes.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I got another one. That's it. Thank you. Okay, good. I don't want to ever, I try really hard not to miss out on anybody, but the chat's kind of going a little bit fast. And what do you girls think? Should we get to the next call?
Yeah, because it's just a continuation. I mean,
Okay.
it's Amy B again.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Uh-oh. Hold on. Give me just a second, you guys. My whole screen just went black.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know why it does that every once in a while. It's the Volturi and the hackers. It only ever does it when I try to switch tabs sometimes. You know, it doesn't do it every time, but it does do it. So weird. There it goes.
Steph,
Okay.
yes, it is.
What, babe?
I told Steph, yes, it is illegal there. She was asking about weed in South Carolina.
Oh. It's kind of, you're still a little bit like, I don't know how to explain the sound, Allie, but
I'll keep my headphones to the call, and then after the call, like when it's time to talk, I'll use the regular speaker, so it'll be normal.
okay. All right, babe. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay. All right. So the next thing I have to tell you, I can't tell you who you talk to, who you don't. As my friend, though, I'm gonna ask you not to say anything else about me to Katrina, and here's why. She went and ran her mouth to the attorneys about money, right? Okay. So here's the deal. Someone reached out to me, in our family circle, okay, and it was like, hey, you're getting railroaded. I want to pay for you a private attorney. I said, okay. They said, all right, we're going to put it in an account, but their name is the head, Jonna. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever heard us talk about Jonna from Orlando.
I don't think so. I don't know. It sounds familiar.
It's Chance's aunt, the one that we had the condo with in Florida.
Oh, okay. That's why it was sounding familiar.
Yeah. So she was like, because, all right, so Chance had, what she did was, we always had a certain share of the property from a long time ago through the company in Orlando. That's how we always went there and stayed. Then we got residual money from it. She said, I'll keep the residual money that's coming in from it, and I'll take some of the money off the condo. She was like, but I'm going to have to wait until you get a divorce because I don't want, anybody to take your money, right? Okay. So she was like, well, I'm putting the money's in her name in the account, and then it's sitting there with my name under it. And she says, this is what you're going to use to pay for private attorney. And she's like, how much does Harley's car cost? And I said, $25,000. She said, well, here, you can take $25,000 of it to give to Harley. That's where the $25,000 came from, right? All right.
She doesn't need a $25,000 car.
No. I knew that, but the point was it was to help pay the rent up and stuff like that. I know that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, it was to help, put it up. You know what I'm saying? For a year, because insurance for a year is going to be like $3,600. You see what I'm saying? That's what it was for, to cover one more year. Because I knew once the year was covered, then everything should be working out here. All right. So I said, okay, good. All right. So I told Aunt Katrina about it, but I just said to her, like, hey, I can't, talk about, where it comes from. If she gets on the phone and goes to telling the attorneys this, and now it starts all this drama that, like, I'm in the middle of some craziness with money and accusing me of some policies and insurance and stupid shit. And I'm like, what? I was like, I haven't got no insurance policies. I have one of myself that I tell Harley on the phone to make sure she keeps paying because it's $100,000, and if something was to happen to me, she gets it. You see what I'm saying? I was like, but I don't have anything to do. It's like, I haven't took any money off of any insurances. I haven't done anything like that. I don't know what she's even talking about. I was like, she's sitting here starting stupidity over nothing, and now it's like pissing me off because I'm sitting there, they asking me about it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't even, no. So it was that, and then also I had the money from my retirement from South Carolina. So what happened was I borrowed on it a long time ago, right? But once you borrow on it, or you take it out of that South Carolina people, you can't put it back in people anymore, right? You had to put it in a private one. Remember? You know what I'm talking about? All right. So mine was in that private one. So then once I came to Colorado, all I did was kept, taking money, putting it in that private one, right? So I take, let's say $600, I think it was, I take every month extra and put, back into that one too. So I got that private retirement sitting there. So then that was the rest of the money I was going to have. I was going to say, hey, look, Harley, there's this too that you can have access to, whatever. And so then attorneys were like, oh, well, your aunt said, boss said, she has no idea what she's even talking about, and she's starting something stupid. And I get she may have been trying to, think she was doing something in the best interest. But it is my job as a parent to make sure Harley gets money. The money was given to me. The person knows it's a bunch of bullshit, and she lives in Florida, and that's why she was like, hey, I'm about to take care of your attorney fees. This is bullshit. That's exactly what she said. So she said, that's why she said, whatever it is, the amount that you need, I'll cover it. Don't ask any questions, I'll cover it. She was like, I don't care if you need $500,000, I'll cover it. And it's always been like that with her. She sent me and Harley to Disney World ever since Harley was 2. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, fine. So my point is, I didn't have to go explain to her that that Jonna was having something to do with it. But it gets turned into something about policies and bullshit. And I'm like, what the heck is she even talking about? And she had no business even messaging them saying anything like that. Because the point was, how I pay for a private attorney is really nobody's business. As long as it's legal, right?
Yep.
I mean, if I give Harley $25,000, as long as it's legal. I mean, I put $600 plus $400 in a retirement for how many years? If I decide I want to freaking let her spend it, it's my money.
Yeah. I agree on that. I mean, if you can get an attorney that's like an actual attorney, that would probably be helpful.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And so she reached out to a bunch of people, and she got a couple. She got one person up near the border, the state border or whatever, past Denver, like an hour or so. She got a couple people there, and she got a couple people in Florida. And so I was supposed to have a WebEx to go out to talk, but they're blocking the WebExes because they're taking the people to court on the WebExes. So right now you can't do any extra stuff unless it's immediate. You know what I mean? So I had to have that put off for a little bit. But she's handling that, right? And I was just sitting there. I was letting her. And the only reason I had to have somebody on my family on there was I had to put Aunt Brenda's name on there because it had to be a person on my family on there that they would conversate with me back and forth. That was the only way. It had to be a family member. So that was why Aunt Brenda had to be on there to conversate with the one she had talked to in Florida. And I was just like, just because I say that don't mean you have to get on the phone and go messaging them that.
Yeah.
Whether they hear it or not. But she doesn't have to get on there and start telling people about attorneys or whatever, regardless if someone hears it or not. That's not her right.
I agree.
Huh?
I mean, I feel like she has your best interest at heart, but then I don't know.
No,
she got upset with you because she said you were talking bad about Deborah Sue, and
sure do.
Sure do. They've never been close that I've known of.
She said we've been close.
No, I said you. So as far as I know, you've never been close with your mom.
No, that's my point. So that's why I can't have any more conversation with her. because she doesn't have my best interest. If she's going to secretly go message, first of all, attorneys shouldn't violate that right. That's wrong on their part. Then second, she shouldn't be doing that because that's absolutely wrong. You know, it doesn't matter if I want to give a private attorney. It's my life.
Yep.
And then, you know, she just starts being like, you know, crazy stuff. And I just can't take it. I can only take so much in here. I can't take, like, everybody going back and forth about something. If something needs to be handled, they just need to talk to me. If it's about my child, talk to me. Don't hold things from me. Because I'm going to talk to my child about money over the phone because she needs to understand that right now that apartment is not the best option for her. I want her to take some of this money from Jonna and that private retirement plan, and I want her to use it to say, hey, all right, I'm going to give you another place to stay. I got me a little safety blanket here. Like you said, she don't need the $25,000 a car. That's why I told her 15. I said 15 will be enough to get you something. 10 to 15, I said, that will last you for a while through college, whatever. I said, and then if I get out of here any sooner, I'm not worried about it because you'll have a brand new car, guarantee you. But right now, $10,000 to $15,000 isn't that good, right?
Yeah, oh, that's perfect.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I want to talk to her more about it and to ask her, would she be thinking about if she don't want to move into another place in Myrtle Beach? If she could wait, you have your roommate, right?
Yeah.
Do you have 4 rooms or 3?
3.
Oh, but your mom's got to have a room.
My mom said she didn't care for now, you know, because
Okay.
they're not moving down for a couple of years.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, so that's what I want to talk to her about because she'll meet plenty of people at the College of Charleston, or she'd go to Charleston's covered. She wants to do a Christian school. I mean, she wants to have a minor in some kind of Christian studies. So that's a perfect one.
Well, what about Charleston Southern? That's
what I said, Charleston Southern. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what I want to talk to her about because she will meet, and what I think she should do is go get a job at like a bank or something. Because then she's going to make, you know, a good amount of money where she can have enough to give you some money, and then she'll have her car paid for, and then, you know, she'll have enough to live like she's used to living. You know, if she wants to go shopping and get something for her hair products, she's got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Chance and Sadie would have a big fenced-in yard.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I just know she doesn't. I made friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
it's scary, but I moved when I was 18.
She will too. It's just that the parent there involved is convincing them that there's this money thing going on, and she's not listening. She's not seeing the clear picture because she sees how much money they have. You see what I'm saying? So they're convincing her about this marketing crap, and that's one of the reasons I think Brenda got mad at her because she was like, "Why are you letting them convince you into buying this film?" And she was like, "Well, because such and such makes money doing it." And she's like, "Harley, it's okay to have it as a side job. Like if you're sitting there saying you're filming, you know, a side job," she's like, "but it's not a career." She's like, "There are photographers that are career, but they don't live where you live." And she's right. I can't make her be wrong for that. Because that is the right
I asked her about military, like if she wanted to consider doing that, you know, and then, you know, then everything's paid for, but she said that she really doesn't want to do that and not right now. And I said, how's Caitlin like it? And she said, Caitlin hates it. So
yeah.
I was like, okay.
But at the same time, Caitlin has health insurance. Caitlin's bills are paid.
Yeah.
And Harley was fine about doing it until Melissa gave her all of this bad stuff about Sean in the military and this mental health thing. That's where that shit came from. Harley never...
Melissa's our bad influence, but there's nothing we can do. I mean, me and Dee Dee were talking about it. Like, because Dee Dee doesn't think that's a good environment either. Neither does my mom.
No.
My mom's like, she can come stay with me in Ohio. I'm like, she wouldn't be able to handle the cats because she's allergic to them.
Yeah. No, I like the option if your mom is okay with that. Because I understand the dogs were, you know, are a lot on the fact of Dee Dee, and she's got all them kids herself. I get that. If she didn't have the dogs, it wouldn't be so stressful, but I get that. But you got a fenced-in backyard where they don't.
Yeah, and I don't have Steeler anymore, so it's like, it's okay now. I couldn't do it before. The Steeler would have eaten them.
That's why I told Dee Dee about, you know, being, you know, until she was 18, because I trust Dee Dee in my life. I trust you in my life. But I can't sit here. Lisa blew my mind. Like, I can't even believe she's doing these things. I never knew her to be this kind of person.
Why don't you try calling her and talking to her yourself?
Who?
Melissa.
No, I have to light her up for stuff because I would be pissed about this whole thing taking advantage of my child. It wouldn't end well because it would end in a shouting match. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all she does is her husband does all these, like, I don't know, strange things, and they think they're a different breed and better than everybody.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't work well. Because then she'd say something to me about being here, and I'm going to say, listen here, honey, I ain't did nothing wrong, and you're going to get to see, and I hang up. So, you know. But what I was going to tell you about, I think the people are going to give me a better deal on the private attorney because they got to see that video, that Trump card I told you about. And so I'm pretty sure they're giving me a better deal. I think they're taking at least $25,000-$50,000 off by seeing that.
Oh, that's good.
But the problem
well, and then you might get money in the end too. Like if you can sue all these people and everything in the end, you can pay them back easily then too.
Defamation of character, wrongful everything, yes. And not to mention, I've already wrote a book.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Because I'm definitely going to do something about how the system is broken. But anyway,
I agree with that.
I know you got to go on this, but tell Harley I need to talk to her tomorrow. I'm not mad at her. I need to go over some things with her that I need her to, to talk to me about those things because I tell her I don't believe the drugs thing. I remember I told you that. I said, I don't believe that for a second. So tell her I don't believe that. But I don't want her around a college environment unless she's going to live with a bunch of girls on a campus or something like that, where at least there's what do they call the hall monitor people, that help look out for them. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's different. But I will.
RAs, I think, yeah.
But she needs to let me talk to her about the school, stop worrying about it, and a job. And then we'll figure out the car. And so that's what I want to try to get her to understand, that it will work out good if she either got her another place in Myrtle, if she wanted to stay there, or she stayed with you. So if you'll let...
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Wow. That's all I can say. First of all, let's start with Crime Curious. Crime Curious, what do you have to say?
Oh boy. Well, clearly Katrina is bad and Melissa is bad and Harley needs to be rescued. And Amy definitely shouldn't talk to Katrina anymore because Katrina is starting stupidity and it's pissing Letecia off. Katrina is starting stupidity because she, in talking to Leticia's attorneys, was talking about the insurance policy that Harley made the changes to, right? And Katrina, even though Letecia told Katrina, and Harley for that matter, that this was cartel money, $100,000 was for her private attorney, and $25,000 was $15,000 for a car and $10,000 for expenses for Harley. But it was cartel money. Now, Katrina's like, okay, it's probably not cartel money, but I think it's this insurance money because that's the same, Leticia's policy is $100,000 and Gannon's policy was $25,000. And by that point, Leticia's attorneys had been made aware that this policy had been made. That this change to the policy had been made. And I'm sure that they assumed that Letecia did it. And so Letecia, and Letecia knows that Harley's the one who changed the policy. They've had this conversation. She was so proud of her.
She was.
But when she's talking to Amy right now, she's like, I haven't done anything or made any changes to that policy. I don't even know what Katrina's talking about.
Yeah. Oh my God. And oh my gosh, then she's gonna sue for defamation, wrongful everything. And yeah, because she hasn't done anything and everybody's gonna see.
I'm
Right.
sorry, Ellen, it's just the way you said that. Wrongful everything, because that's exactly
Right.
how
That's what she
Letitia
said.
said, and it just made it.
Wrongful everything.
Yeah.
So then
Oh
this
my
woman that
God.
allegedly, the woman that allegedly called Aunt Katrina and told her that the money is real and it came from a timeshare condo in Orlando that apparently belongs to Chance's Aunt Jonna.
Yes.
Apparently that's where the $125,000 is actually going to come from, and Katrina just doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just starting stupidity. You mean with everything that you fed her?
Right.
And oh, oh,
Right. And on top of that, okay, the attorneys violated whatever. Okay, Letecia, let
right,
me tell you, if they violated anything, what you're talking about is attorney-client privilege, except for the fact that you gave them permission to speak to Aunt Katrina.
right,
So they didn't violate anything. So shush.
right.
And what it is, this is what I think happened. All right. I think that Katrina has been listening on the phone to Letecia talk about this money since October. All right. We're now mid-November. All right. It's been literally a month, because October 11th is when the whole I hit my head, and it's 2019. Toby Bird, a kookaloo is a term that Diane Downs used. She calls people who are sanity challenged kookaloos. And it just made me laugh when she said it. And so now you guys, that's a membership tier.
And I wanted to say thank you to Toby
Okay.
Bird, because between the last two live streams, well, between Allie's and this one, Toby Bird
Mhm.
sent a generous donation toward jail calls via the
Oh,
website.
thank
So
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Yeah.
And by the
Oh,
way, thank you,
yeah.
Pointer Lover, for sending me that comment, because I didn't mean to miss it in my chat earlier from Toby Bird. I hate doing that, and so I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you.
We have such a great little community over here. I love us. Okay. So Aunt Katrina has been listening to this gibberish for a month now. Okay. It started with, I hit my head, I was covered in blood, and I ain't been right since. Now I'm at vampire camp. I should be getting my black outfit any day now. Yada yada yada, whatever. But she ups the ante. She is the one that told Aunt Katrina about this cartoon money. But how she started out saying it was that she was going to have to do some stuff she shouldn't be doing. And now, if you hear that, and it's your family member, they're already in jail on murder charges, man, I feel like you might step in and say something. Then you add
Right.
to that fact that almost every single time Aunt Katrina talks to Letecia since the beginning of October, when we started these calls, she has been asking Letecia, has she spoken to anybody from her attorney team? Okay.
Katie who?
And
Katie who?
Leticia's like, I don't know these people. New phone, who did this? I don't know them. No, I'm not talking to them. They don't listen to me. All of that. And so that is why Aunt Katrina sounded the alarm, because I actually think what she was trying to do is, and on top of that, Letecia has told her that, she's talked to the mental health. They told her they can't do anything for her.
Right. She's done with the attorneys, and she's done with Aunt Katrina, because they were not following Leticia's lead. I mean, she even told Harley that she had to sell her life to the devil to get that money to buy her a car.
Exactly right.
I remember that.
Her life, not her soul. The devil wanted the whole damn life.
Hey, there's a comment. Can you?
Yes, babe.
Oh,
Tell me which one.
I'm sorry.
No, tell
Just
me which one.
asking how they ask it. Sorry, there's a delay too, and I know that's my fault. But anyways, asking it how they can donate for the more of the jail calls, and which I'm gonna pitch into tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be able to order some more tomorrow. But I know the way, but I figured if one of you guys could explain it, you might explain it a little better than me. It's
The
on our
best way
website.
is, yeah, the best way is to just go to crimecurious.com/Stauch. And then there are links there for Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. And the reason we do it that way is because YouTube takes a hefty chunk, and we're keeping track of every donation that's made and what they go to pay for. And it's harder to do that with the YouTube stuff because they take their cut and then they don't pay it out for, until the following month. So if you're going to donate toward jail calls, you just go to crimecurious.com/Stauch, but make sure that you notate that, just put the words jail calls somewhere in there. Like if it's a Cash App, you can write that, or if it's a PayPal, you can, when they ask what it's for, you just put jail calls.
Yep. Perfect.
Exactly right. And it wouldn't, like, that's literally the website. But did I not spell Stout capitalized? No, that shouldn't have made a difference.
No,
I
it
don't know
shouldn't
why I
matter.
did it like that. Give me a minute and I will, when I start playing this next call, but I want to go around one more time and ask, I'm going to start with A is for Allie. What do you, if anything, do you have any final thoughts on this crazy ass call where Leticia's ripping at Katrina to shreds?
Well,
No, not really.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Let me shut up.
No, not really. Anyways, just basically what I said. I think for me, just the parts about she didn't do anything, or it's just very frustrating to hear. And then the attorney comments, and then Amy sitting here. I'm thinking this is November. I'm certain the probable cause affidavit has been leaked. Surely she knows some of what's going on. Amy, are you listening? Because surely to God, if I knew I had conversations with her on the jail calls and people were listening in, I would be listening. And I'm just saying, if you're listening, I hope that you never give her another second of your time.
Yes.
Awkward
Amen to that. And
silence.
thank you, DC Primetime. I appreciate that so much. So generous. All right. Crime Curious Jen, any final thoughts on this last call that we had with friend Amy bashing Aunt Katrina?
Just the awkward silence that came after Letecia on her soapbox saying that she would never ever hurt a child. Crickets. And then they kept talking.
Yes. Yes.
Crickets.
This is a good question. Pitbull wants to know, Crime Curious, is Letecia calling the bank all the time like she says?
No. When she says that she's seen Harley's bank statement, it's the same bank statement that we saw in the discovery, or in the case report, where she had, a couple payments from Social Security and all of that. And the reason she has access to that is because the attorneys have showed her that piece at this point.
Okay, gotcha. So she's not even calling the bank. She's not moving money
No.
around.
No.
Lord Jesus. I mean, I didn't
No.
think she was, but yeah.
No. Yeah. She
All
only
right.
knows from that thing that we saw in the case report, that the attorneys must have showed it to Letecia and asked her a question about her money and Harley's money.
Right. But I think what Pitbull wants to know is, are there any calls to the bank, to a bank, in the call logs? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I think because I do know that Jen pours over those, and I feel like if Letecia was calling the bank 11 billion times like she says she is, she would keep us apprised of that. We would be aware.
Well, and how is she going to call the bank from a jail? With the whole global tel link, I mean,
yeah,
is she
because don't they have to? Yeah. How would that work?
Right.
You can't call you. I don't think, because somebody's got to accept the call.
Right.
Even if
because
she has money on her books, like on a phone card. Because I know Harley, Katrina, Brenda, Amy, they have money on their phone, or is it a phone card for Letecia? Like they put money on this all the time. They keep adding to it, and then Letecia can call, but it doesn't matter because either way, they would get that global tel link and they would have to agree. And I feel like a bank would be like, click.
Right. Well, so all of those people have money on their account. There's also free calls that are 5 minutes. But then Letecia also has an account that she can pull from that comes off of her commissary and gets transferred to the phone account.
Uh-huh.
So Letecia can pay for the call, but even when Leticia's paying for the call, the person on the other end still gets that recorded message where they have to accept or reject the call from a correctional facility.
Right. And I think that would be the deal breaker for the bank.
Right. Even if Leticia's paying for the call, they have that.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Okay. All right. Well, now she's going to malign Aunt Brenda. So I have no idea what she's going to say to Aunt Brenda, but should we hear?
Oh, yeah.
We ready, girls? All right, here we go.
We're ready.
All right. Tisha Lynn, baby.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
I had to tell you a few things. First off, my mom didn't put any money on my account.
Say what now?
I said my mom didn't put any money on my account, so I don't know why she
Now,
told you
she
that.
said she did.
No, I just checked. There's nothing.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call him. I'm going to have to call him on the phone and do it. Okay, I'll do it as soon as we hang up.
Okay. And then the second thing I was going to tell you is, and I know you are going to say, I already told you this, but please do not, I know you don't, but just in case, don't say nothing else to pass any information to Katrina.
To who?
Katrina.
I don't tell Katrina nothing.
I know, and don't even say anything to my mom. Here's why. Katrina goes and messages the attorneys a bunch of lies, right? So remember I told you I had somebody going to pay for the attorney, right? All right. I don't know if you remember the lady from Florida that was Chance's family, right? We'd always go down there, and she did the timeshare business, and she sent us to Disney World all the time, right? All right. So she reached out, was like, hey, she's like, you're getting railroaded. I'm going to pay for your attorney. She's like, whatever. I said, all right. So I didn't tell Aunt Katrina about like who it was. I just said, hey, yes, I have a way. I have some money that's going to cover that, whatever. She goes and tells the attorneys that I have a bunch of money coming to me off of some kind of life insurance policies. And I said, what? Abraham, I said, the only life insurance policies that I make sure is because I want it on myself. If something was to happen to me, I stay on Harley, like make sure she pays it every 3 months, right?
See, Harley never paid it.
No, it should be paid.
She never did pay it, and I asked her several times. See, that's why I said when I gave her that money, I said, Harley, pay your mom's life insurance. I took care of it. She never paid it, I don't believe.
Did you take care of it?
Hey, she never did tell me where to send it or not. She said she took care of it herself. Harley, that's why I said Harley told me she took care of that stuff. That's why I put that money in Harley's account, was to take care of that and make sure you had books and money on your account.
Well, it's still active on myself, so she had to have paid it.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's something you'll have to get with Harley on. If Harley hasn't paid it, she needs to call and let me know so I can send her the money to pay it.
All right. But that wasn't what I was telling you about. But my point was that was the only thing that I've ever mentioned to Harley about, any kind of policy was I was like, yeah, make sure you keep the policy paid on myself. No one, I don't even have anything. I didn't get anything off of any policies or anything. So I'm like, why would Katrina go make up some lie like that? So
I don't know.
And I'm sitting there like, whatever. I told her, so I called my friend Amy, and it's not her that was doing that. It's those kids' mom. She said that she had already tried to tell, that lady is the one that was telling her to say those things to you. That the kids' mom that stay there, she's the one that was having Harley say those things. She said that her and Dee had already talked about this because that lady was telling her to say that didn't matter where she was at, that she could represent Black lives or something. And so I had Amy call her and talk to her. And I said, and she was like, well, you know, just because some people do things doesn't mean I do them. I said, well, I understand that. I said, but you also have to remember, I know you're I know you're around college people and college kids and stuff like that. I said, but I said, they have their mama who lets them do whatever and pay for whatever, and money comes out the yin yang, yada yada yada. I said, they're a whole different type of people. And so I talked to Harley about that or whatever, but my point is, I just told her, I said, it's not gonna work out if you're listening to this lady. See, that lady's always tried to be Harley's mom, right? She used to always be like, well, she'd be like, Harley, she's like, because Charlotte was different than Harley. Harley, Charlotte was like into rap music and like stuff like that, and so she's not. So Charlotte would always be like, well, she loves you more than she loves me. She's always tried to like do that. So she's sitting there praying and taking advantage of Harley by like trying to convince her into these pyramid schemes and all this stuff. And that's where that came from. So that lady's the one that had tried to tell them that they had to go to that thing, Black Lives Matter, because this, and then they could stop and learn about this pyramid scheme on the way and like all this stupid stuff. So that's who that came from. I'm not going to call the lady because it won't work out well. It'll end up in me fussing her out, So
You
I
don't
told, say what?
You don't need none of that. Go ahead.
No, I don't. So I told Amy, I said, you tell Harley that she's going to take, whenever, like John has got the account, and then she's got my name on it, her name, and she's just waiting on me to get all the other paperwork for the power of attorney or whatever. Then whatever's left, she was like, you can use that to, help Harley get a car, whatever. And I said, you need to tell Amy that. I said, Amy, call Harley back and tell her that I said, that everybody was trying to do something to help her. And Amy was like, I'm doing everything to help her. She said, I apologize. She said, I realized at first because I thought that it was your Aunt Brenda or whatever. She said, but once me and Dee had a real serious talk, she said Dee was telling me that Brenda was the one trying to help her, and this, and this. And she says, that's when I started to tell Harley, like, wait a minute now. You need to quit letting Melissa influence you. Because she's an adult preying on you kids, telling y'all what to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So Miss D is the one that's preying on Harley.
No. Not her. The other kids' moms.
Charlotte and Antonio.
Yes. This
and
is
what
the one. Huh?
It's Amy. And Amy.
No, I talked to Amy. Amy said, no. She said, at first, she was getting the wrong information. She said, once she talked to Miss D, she said, Miss D told her, like, no, Brenda's the one that's, taking care of Harley, yada, 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 not Melissa. You know what I mean? And Melissa was the one that was telling Harley to say, tell her it don't concern her. That's who influenced Harley, regardless. Harley said it, but that's who was behind it, was Melissa. So I told Amy, I said, well, you need to talk to Harley again, because, I don't have, hours and hours to sit and talk to her.
Right.
I said, talk to Harley again and tell her that I said, listen, we're going to find a better option. All right. I said, as soon as this whole apartment thing is over, we're going to find a better option. I said, because that is not going to be a good option, because if she's telling them stuff like that and influencing them, then she rubs off on you. And then you just sit there and you just don't realize, like, she's not doing this to be in your best interest. She's just trying to get you to, think that, because they think they're high and mighty. Like, that's what it is, Aunt Brenda. They got plenty of money, and they think.
I know, but I don't have a plenty of money, so I'm having the budget to help you guys out, which I don't mind. I'm not saying I mind. But what I'm saying is I couldn't get Harley to understand you can't do it, Harley, because I'm living off of my Social Security and my insurance that Uncle Tommy lives with me.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
Harley understands that. She was just getting pressured by this lady saying she had to sign up for this.
And her kids, Charlotte and Antonio, whatever his name is.
Right. Antonio, she said that, Harley said it was Charlotte vape thing. She says Charlotte vape. She says she don't do anything. She was like, you can come here right now and give me every test in the world. I would never do that. Her dad died of that. Yada yada yada. I said Harley. She's like, but I'm in a college area. I said, that's why I never wanted you to go to Coastal. That's why you should talk to me. I said, so here's what we're going to do. I said, we all make mistakes. I said, we're going to backpedal it and we're going to figure out a better option. I said, you got the College of Charleston. I said, you can go to college there. I said, you said you want to go to a Christian school. You got Charleston Southern. That's a Christian school right there. I said, you got that. I says, you'll meet people. And I said, and I want you to try to get a job at like a bank or somewhere like that that's going to guarantee you out.
She's got a job also working with Billy, my cousin Billy D. She sells real estate down there. She's selling big time real estate. She sold 2 big, huge condos. Yeah. Harlot's met instead of the Miss D. She said, Billy, she's a young girl, you know her, but anyway, she said she would take Harley under her wing. She's a good Christian girl. Her husband's a deputy. I mean, and she's got kids of her own. She's related to me, and she knew you guys. Mm-hmm. I tell you who her daddy was, Monkey Dow. Remember Monkey Dow?
Yeah.
Well, it's his daughter, Billy. She is doing fantastic. She told me she would guide her. She goes to church. She said, I'll take Harley under my wings and she can work with me and I'll show her the real estate business. She can get a real estate license and still go to school.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell Harley that, Harley, if you're not going to start school in January, and she had already met Billy, I said, go ahead and go to real estate school. I'll pay for it. Get your real estate license. That way you can work on your own schedule and go to school.
Yeah.
And Billy said she would put her wings and train her and work with her, and I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
They was too interested in these $690 a month sharing and all that mess.
Listen, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Now you gotta understand. You know, we all make mistakes, and she's learning, right? It's a learning thing for her, right? So we have to step in as adults and, help her navigate the situation, which is what you try to do, and I appreciate it. And that's what we got to keep working on. So I'm going to talk to her again, and I'm going to say, now you have options is what I'm going to tell her. I'm going to say, here's your options. Your options are, you can sign up to go to Charleston Southern because you said you wanted to go to a Christian school, and you got to do South Carolina because it's in-state tuition. I'm going to say, or if you want to stay there to go to Coastal, we're going to figure out another plan for you to rent a room from somebody else. I said, I know plenty of adults that have rooms that are available. Plenty of adults that I know, they're not college kids or whatever. And so that's what we're going to go with from there.
I even told her that I would move down there. If she wanted to go to Coastal, I would get us a small house, a efficiency apartment, and I would go down there and stay. Right. She didn't want to hear that because I'm Aunt Brenda, which I told her, yeah, Harley, I want you to do better than us.
Yeah.
That's what I always told all you young'uns that.
Yeah, I know Aunt Brenda.
And she's gonna have her freedom, but I told her, I said it'd be easier for you to have an adult living in the house with you than a bunch of just college students running in and out and this day and this, So.
Yeah. All right. So So if you still got that as an option, I'm going to talk to her and I'm going to tell her here's her voices now. There's no more of this going to be going on there. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix this mistake that she made. We let her make it, and we're going to fix it. And here are the options now. If these are not the options now, then I want you to get on the phone and ask Melissa. I'm going to tell her, is Melissa paying for your expenses from now? That's exactly what I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave it like that and let her think about it. Because she's upset, thinking that we're accusing her. She said, Mom, I never did this, this, and this. I said, okay, I believe you because I raised you better than that. I said, but when people are around you, trust me, I'm sitting here now when I shouldn't be. Look how easy it is to get in trouble for somebody else. And so that's what I wanted to understand.
I need for you to get out of there so bad.
She needs to what? I know, me too. I'm ready to go in this grease. Anyway, I sent you your form. I don't know where your other letters are at. So I resent I rewrote what I said on there and then put it in with that power of attorney that I sent you. And then I'm gonna give you contact information for these attorneys and that Jonna had reached out to you. And I'll let you know about that as we go along. And then I'm gonna talk to Harley tomorrow, and we'll figure out this plan.
You have 1 minute remaining.
You know, we got to
You
get
only
her,
got a minute.
gotta get her a
you only-
better option.
Yeah, you only got a minute, baby, and I love you.
All right.
And I'm gonna go ahead and pour you some money.
Okay.
And I mailed that letter, but today was a holiday, so it won't go out until tomorrow.
Okay, and then message Harley and ask her that she paid that life insurance policy on me. You know, that way you'll know.
I need to know as soon as possible so I can get it paid.
You got to message her because I don't have a way to talk to her. You know.
I'll message her, but she don't answer my messages half the time.
All right. Well, I'll talk to her tomorrow and handle it.
I'll FaceTime her, okay?
Okay. All right.
All
right. Love you.
She's working to be off. Love you, darling. I love you.
Tell her I'll call her tomorrow and I need her to answer. All right. Love you. Bye.
Okay, tell her then.
Thank you for using Global Telink.
All right, this one's for brave bloggers. Tisha Lynn. Whew. Hey, Brenda. Lord Jesus. What y'all think, girls?
Who knew that Harley wanted to go into real estate?
I didn't. I've never heard Harley talk one thing about it. But can we resolve this situation, because with the way that her dad died, this is something that's the chat is asking about, and it's kind of stuck in my crawl too, because now Tasha Lynn has told everybody and their daddy how Harley's father died. Okay. What I find interesting is when Tisha Lynn doesn't want other people to repeat what Tisha Lynn says, she'll tell people, don't tell Harley. I find it real interesting that she talks about how her father passed away and yet doesn't mention, hey, but Harley doesn't know that. I just think it's interesting. It's just an interesting family dynamic. I have no idea what it means, if it means anything. It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, she said it to Amy, and she said it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, babe,
Yeah.
we can hear you now.
Sorry, I was trying to talk like 10 times, but every time my earbud I was trying to disconnect it and it wasn't working. But she said Harley would never do that because her dad, the way he passed away. So it's really interesting. And I wrote in the chat to Rabbit Hole, I'm like, is it bad that I don't believe any of them anymore? Because I wouldn't be surprised if I mean, I don't know, no matter how it goes, to be honest.
You're right, though, Allie. Like, okay, if that's her justification why Harley would never do anything like that, then that would mean that Harley knows how her father passed away. But when she took the stand, she said she didn't find out how her dad passed away until like recently, like a couple of days or right then that day. I can't even remember what she said, but it definitely wasn't in 2020. What you think,
Right.
Jan?
Yeah, I think she said, that she had learned it within the last couple of weeks because of the internet, is what she said when she was on the stand. And,
Okay.
But Allie's right. I mean, that was also when she said that the reason she had a GoFundMe was so that friends and family would have a place to be able to give her money. I mean, we don't know. We know what was testified to. Unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily make it true. And I'm not saying that she lied. I'm just saying we don't know.
Right. That's pretty much how I feel about it. We just don't know. Can't say.
Because it does seem like everyone else in her life knew how her dad died. So how could she not know? Even if Letecia lied to her, at some point it's got to come out, right, from somewhere else.
you would think, and let's be honest here, okay? Now we've been sitting here listening to these calls for a month, and I'm not judging. I'm just calling it. I don't make the news. I'm just reporting it. But ain't none of these people on these phone calls know how to keep a secret. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So would be very shocked if it hadn't, if it hasn't come out, or that it didn't come out.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I did notice. Well, I did. So she started with, so Letecia had 3 points that she had to get across to Aunt Brenda. And she even, she made that call ready to make these 3 points. She didn't actually care what Aunt Brenda had to say. And she knew Aunt Brenda was going to be confused. So she's like, look, number 1, my mom didn't send any money. Number 2, Katrina is full of lies. Number 3, Melissa is bad. Amy is good. Right? Because, so after listening to this call, I do feel for sure, white Amy is Amy B, friend Amy.
Yes.
And I think that prior to this phone call, Aunt Brenda believed that when Harley told Aunt Brenda that it was none of her concern, that came from Amy and Dee Dee's influence. And so, and Letecia didn't stop that. Letecia doesn't care that everybody hates Aunt Brenda. That gives Letecia more control over Aunt Brenda,
Right.
Excuse me, sorry. So, so then Letecia goes on to tell Brenda that Amy realizes, that she was wrong about you, Aunt Brenda. And Melissa is actually the one who told Harley to tell Aunt Brenda that it was none of her concern. Melissa was the bad influence on Harley, having her be disrespectful to Aunt Brenda, not Amy and Dee Dee. Because, so Katrina and Melissa are the bad guys now. And, but even still, when Letecia is going into like what the current plan is, she tells Brenda that Harley's going to have 2 choices, and rather than say, the current plan is to force Harley to move in with white Amy. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying that. I need to stop. It's just because that's what Brenda calls her.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that she would call her that, it's almost like you have to say it. It's kind of like Boone and her, unintentional sleep, going to bed, even though she prepared for bed, and no malicious. It's just one of those things.
Right. But I did notice that Letecia was very careful to say, well, I know some adults that she can stay with where it's going to be an adult and not a bunch of college kids. Now, what she meant was Harley can go live with Amy, but she couldn't say that to Brenda because she hasn't convinced Brenda yet that Amy's good.
Right.
Because
this is damage control. See, some of this call, this is why there was no niceties, y'all. Letecia was about the business today. Again.
Right.
Okay. And the fact of the matter is that this is damage control now. Letecia is going to work to rebuild Amy's reputation in the eyes of Aunt Brenda.
Right.
So.
Right. And then Letecia can control Amy and Aunt Brenda both enough to know that Harley's going to be taken care of with, a pot-free place to live without college kids, and Aunt Brenda footing the bill, and with Letecia in control. Letecia, it's perfect for Letecia. Harley will move in with Amy, and between Amy and Aunt Brenda, Harley will never have even half a second of privacy. And Letecia will know everything from every angle, and she has all the strings to pull to turn any one of those 3 people against each other. If she, it's perfect for Letecia. So she's like, number 1, my mom didn't send any money. Number 2, Katrina is full of lies. Number 3, Melissa is bad. Amy is good. And then at the end, it was number 4, send money. And number 5, make sure Harley paid the life insurance. The life insurance on her. Not the fact that there was a $25,000 rider for Gannon, but her life insurance, because that's what makes it okay. Right.
Right. This is so messed up.
Yeah, it is.
Allie,
And
what do you got
I
to
want
say,
to
babe?
first, I want to apologize because when I was last speaking, like I think that I interrupted you, Curious Jen, but on my end, I didn't because my mic was because I was like still talking, but y'all couldn't hear me. So when you finally could hear me, it was like I don't know. I just apologize for that. And then the next thing I want to say is just all I could think was hearing Curious Jen talk about the GoFundMe and that and those kind of little lies that she's uncovered and little things when I heard this call. Just because even though they said so much else and you like your outline was perfect, mom didn't send money, you know, XYZ, but all I could hear was, oh my God, you just talk so openly about what happened to Chance with everybody. It's just so
Right.
interesting. And yeah, so I don't know. That's all I got.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
listen, it could have very well been, you know, a way that was set up on the stand for, oh, what am I looking for, Jen? Not likability. Um, you know, that just makes them
Sympathy?
sympathetic to the witness kind of thing.
Right,
oh, yeah,
sympathy.
yeah.
I mean,
She's a
who
sympathetic
knows?
witness.
Or maybe she was really was confused by the way that he, you know, actually died. I mean, we just don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
and
where
you can never tell.
no, you can't. And here's where the problem lies. Letecia is her mother, and Letecia is a known lying liar mouth who tells lies. So it is possible that when Harley says she didn't know, it actually makes me wonder if that is because Letecia told her multiple things at different times and that she never knew for sure until right before the trial and she found out online. That's possible too.
Right.
And, you know, and the thing is, the deal about being on the witness stand like that is you can only answer what you're asked. You cannot elaborate. You cannot
Right.
unless you ask. If you say, well, do you want me to elaborate on that? Usually that happens during cross-examination and they're shut down. But because we watched that with the Adelson trial, Charlie Adelson, he would say, do you want me to elaborate on that? And sometimes she would be like, sure. And then some, you know, or even mainly his attorney would be like, no, I don't. When witnesses
No,
would
thank you.
ask if they wanted an elaboration. So she had to answer it the best way that she knew how, and without going into a long dissertation like I just did. You're not allowed to do that on the stand. Okay. This is why I would make it. Well, I know I would make a fine witness. I know how to behave in court. I'm not in court. But yeah, so I think that when we listen to these things, one thing I think that's good to get in the back of your mind, keep in the back of your mind is when we're dealing with this kind of stuff, Letecia is a liar. And lying is not a new thing, meaning she didn't start lying on January 27th, 2020. She's been a liar her whole life. And so I feel like like I said, it's very possible that when it comes to Harley, she is probably saying, it's possible she's saying, maybe, you know, I didn't know what to believe. And I never knew for sure what happened to my dad until, you know, like a week or 2 weeks, whatever it was, before she testified at Letecia's trial. That's, you know, and then there's this question from Rabbit Hole Survivor. Question. Do you know if anybody was ever charged with hitting Letecia's stepdad with a car? Is it possible Letecia hit him?
Nobody was ever charged.
Okay. All right. Are we good? Allie, you got anything you want to add, babe?
Nope, I'm good. I've always wondered that myself, but yeah, I'm sure. I've always wondered that myself also, but I've heard, and that someone put in chat that it was a young girl and no charges were filed. I mean, I don't know if that's, yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right. So shall we go on to the next one?
Yeah. Who's the next one? I think the next
What
one's Harley. Is that right?
I think so, yes. Now I'm
Yeah.
supposed to play until what? Number 25?
Um.
Is that what
Yeah.
you
So
said?
this call with Harley starts. That is November 12th, and then
Okay.
it goes Brenda Harley on November 13th. But yeah, I mean, we can go as long as you want, but this next one with Harley. So this is the first time that Letecia has talked to Harley after trying to call her 10 times and making Amy call her and telling Aunt Brenda to call her and saying that, I'm going to die if I don't hear from you. I'm going to lose my mind if I don't hear from you and all of that. So
All the guilts. Okay.
yeah, so I'm really
Okay.
looking forward to this call with Harley. Just, watch
Okay.
Letecia make her moves.
All right. Here we go.
Hello. Hey.
Hey.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Save me.
Sorry.
Huh?
I said save me.
Why?
Oh, they just been fighting like crazy in here today.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Girls that like each other, then they broke up, and then one girl is accusing another girl of being her dead sister and that she's cheating the system.
Aw.
And the other one's calling the other girl fat. And the other one's calling the other one the N-word. So yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they just been crazy. And I've been so sick.
Yeah, you sound sick.
Yeah, they finally brought me Tylenol, but I haven't gotten. I'm supposed to get an antibiotic later on tonight, so hopefully that starts to help. I've been like dead sick, like laying down. Yeah, they said it was like end up being a total of 900 some people here.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the second. I just seen it. It said the second largest breakout in the state was here.
Wow.
Yeah, like the first largest was University of Colorado. Like 1,200 and some.
Wow.
And then the paper called him out for not letting us have masks. That's crazy, huh? Yeah. How are you doing?
Nothing in the car.
Where are you going?
To the store. My phone's gonna die though.
Oh yeah. Going to the store. Can I get me something?
What'd you say?
I haven't eaten in a few days. I can hardly swallow.
Oh God.
I know it's bad. I'm real sick. I don't have corona though.
That's good.
Yeah. But I guess it's sinus infection. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to call you. I missed you.
You should too.
Alright, be careful. I'll call you tomorrow then.
Okay, love you.
Hey, I forgot to tell you, my girl will probably call you like tomorrow or the next day or something like that, okay?
Okay, sounds
I
good.
did coming out late, that's why I wasn't able to talk to her. People crazy. Alright. Okay. Love you so much, sweetie. Talk to you later, okay?
Love you too. Okay. Bye.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
Hey, I was going to tell you I got that money that you sent.
Huh?
I got the money you sent.
You got the money I sent you?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just really sick.
What's wrong?
Now I just started taking antibiotics.
Okay. You be careful being around everybody around her, okay?
Yeah, I am.
I hope I sent you $300 so you'll know.
So I know what?
I sent you $300.
Yeah, that'll last a while. Yeah.
Okay, because I just wanted to let you know I don't.
No, I went in and saw it. Thank you. I said I went in and saw it. Thank you.
Okay. And you never did get nothing from Deborah?
No,
She swore up and down she sent you money.
No.
I told her she did. She needs to check on it because you didn't get it. Hey, let me ask you something. You like James Patterson? I got your letter today, and it was a October the 16th, and I just got it today.
Oh, wow.
The James Patterson book.
Oh,
you
then
need
there's
some money
still,
for supplies.
there's still other ones that you haven't got then.
Yeah, I haven't got no other ones. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm waiting on Harley to call me.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell Harley that we need to sit down and talk, me and her. And either she can, I'm gonna try to find us a place down there to stay, and she can stay with me, Tish Lynn.
All right.
And I'm not gonna be demanding of her no more than I'm just gonna, the only reason I'm doing this, so I can monitor her and kind of guide her. She's listening to people she don't need to be listening to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we talked about that.
And you know, ain't Brenda strict, but I'm not going to be that strict on her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit more lenient. And I've been online today trying to find a house to buy something that we can afford. And maybe I can get one with an extra bedroom where we can get a student to move in with us. And that'll help with the payment.
Yeah. Well, you tell them they can only move in until I do now.
Huh?
So you tell them they get to only move in until I get there.
Well, that's what I'm hoping too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a place there. It's an old house. It needs a lot of fix up, but it's right there in Conway in town, and it's a perfect place for a bed and breakfast. Oh my God, ideal old house with an upstairs and everything in it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, well, if I'm going and we need the income to help pay for the house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be ideal for us.
Yeah. Just be careful in Conway. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, then you got to make sure you have the business aspect to it. I wouldn't. Conway is like.
Yep.
It's really. Let me just be honest with you. I've lived there for 20 years of my life. I know Conway is not a good place to live. But if you're just going to be staying somewhere, then no.
No, this is a business, and I can live upstairs.
Yeah.
We can stay upstairs, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a 4-bedroom and 2 baths.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I made it into like a little business and we can stay there, and then when you come home, if we want to sell it, we can sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something where we can get money back because.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm working. I'm working on it. You know, even if we have to rent 2 rooms to college students.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta think of something.
If you're gonna do the rent 2 rooms, don't do Conway. Do stay in Carolina Forest because that's you don't. I'm telling you, Brenda. That is not. You just don't want to be in Conway. It floods really
Even
bad.
in town.
Yeah, that's where it's bad at. Now, if you did Conway like where Miss Laura lives, that's different. But you're talking about like Conway Town. First of all, the town floods really bad when that river floods, which floods a lot, and tons of people's houses all the time get flooded. And then on top of that, the crime in Conway is pretty bad. And the Conway High School kids, which isn't far, which is really like right around the corner. I used to teach at Conway High School, and that is not, If you're doing it,
we're just right now. I'm just looking. I'm trying to find something that I can afford to get, because if I get it, I'm gonna have to borrow money on the house that I'm staying in now.
Yeah.
I'm about broke. I'm about spent every penny I've got.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get that much when Uncle Tommy died.
Yeah.
And I do have enough.
What she's paying is like, you could probably get an apartment that's like Seaside Grove that has 2 bedrooms.
Well, I'm gonna find something, but Harley's got to realize she's got to cut back. She's got to cut. I've cut back a lot, but I had to. I'm on the road now going to Wilmington to serve papers, and then I got a new client the other day, and they sent me 3 papers to go to Raleigh to serve. So I got to go to Raleigh tomorrow. So I mean, and then I was thinking if I move to Conway, then I can do a lot of Conway stuff. So I'm staying on the road. I'm staying busy because that's my other source of income.
Yeah,
see, that was the money that I was put. You know what I make and what I make.
I know.
And see, I was telling Harley one time. I said, Harley, if you just keep up with the paperwork and stuff like that for me, and help me get out and advertise the business. I said, if it's just handing out cards, go by lawyer's office with your pretty little face and tell them that we're a process server and you'd love to have their business and help out to grow the business. I said, you don't have to serve papers. I'll serve them. You just go meet the attorneys and introduce yourself and tell them what we do and get their business. And I said, I'll serve the papers. Ain't Brenda do the hard work in the driving and serving the papers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's marketing. She wants to go into marketing, and to me, that's part of marketing.
And she told you no, she wouldn't do marketing.
She really don't know what she wants to do.
But I'm asking you, did she tell you no to that? Because that don't make any sense, because she's very good at putting stuff.
That's what I'm saying. She never did go forward.
Well, I guess you don't ever know when people really know. Like, people offer her stuff all the time. You got to give it to her. She don't never really know,
But see, that's the thing. I told her, I said, your mom did it, and your mom made good money.
Yeah.
And it's not hard work. I said, you're dealing with the court system and attorneys and stuff like that. It's not hard work.
Yeah.
And even Billy, she told her, she said, you can work for me, Harley.
Yeah,
I'll work in real estate. And see, she hasn't really got back with Billy. That's one reason why.
Well, these are the things
I don't know
I'm going
what.
to ask her, why she hasn't followed through on these, and I'm going to get her answer and let you know what she told me, so I know.
When I asked Harley what happened or this or that, she acts like it's not what I want to do. You know what? You have no income coming in. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to get out there and help do something. You're going to have to put a foot forward. You know that, baby.
Wait, Britta, you're making it sound like she's not working. She is working.
She is working, but she's not making nothing. And see, that's what Billy was saying. Billy said she can go to real estate school. I'll work her. She can go to school, get her real estate license, and that child can make some money.
I
could take her under my wing.
Education has to come first.
That's what I said. She can get her real estate license and still go to school.
But I know that. What I'm saying though, you got to understand it, Brenda. You think that she's just not. The child has always done something. She's worked since she was 15. So I told you got to let me handle the talking to her part, because everybody else, she don't understand, because it's always been me, and I have to take things realistic versus unrealistic. And once I do that, she's easy to understand then. So what you got to do is tell me. That's where I told you guys I got to be the mediocre person. To mediocre it, because you just tell me what you want me to talk to her about. Which are you want me to mention? I'm gonna mention the thing to her about the real estate. I'm gonna mention to her about whatever, and then I'm gonna narrow them down to a choice. Harley has to have a choice A or choice B's. That's how she is. She can't be like 15 choices because then it's too much for her to process. So I'm gonna give her choice A and choice B and let her see the difference. And then I'm gonna give her a choice C. And you know what choice C is, right? Choice C is nothing. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna do that.
Well, I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am going to give her car back to her. I am going to. This is her car. I did buy it for her, but to be honest with you, Tisha Lynn, I'm waiting on her to call me. She hasn't called me. She hasn't really contacted me. And
I told her not to take the car back. You know,
okay.
So just because I didn't want you to be stressed out about the insurance and stuff like that. No,
she's got to have transportation. So what is she doing for transportation?
I'm walking to work. And and then whenever everybody goes to the grocery store, she rides with them. Which, here's the thing for me, Brenda. I don't mind if you're going to let me give you that money for it. I don't mind. And then I'm okay with that. Or at least let me at least let me give you $15,000 of it for it. Then you.
Well, I don't need the car. I really don't need this car.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I did buy it for Harley. It's Harley's car. Regardless, it's Harley's car.
Right. And then she talked to me about she said that Charlotte is the one that smokes and vapor things. She said she realizes how dangerous it is and she don't want nothing to do with it. And I said, well, that's fine. You can't make everybody do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be their keeper. You can't be your brother's keeper for everybody.
Right.
You just can't. I said, she's like, Mom, but you got to know that you raised me not to make bad choices, and I don't. She was like, I don't, do things when they do things. This is a college area. She said, the only thing I did wrong that you're mad at me about is I didn't let you know I was going out of town. And she says, I should have told you I was going out of town, and I should have told Ingrid, and that was wrong. And
she definitely should have told me. I was really, because anything could have happened to that child.
I know, trust me. You don't know how many nights I've sat in there and worried to death once I found out about it. You don't know. I mean, you probably imagine, but you don't know how much I've sat in there and cried and been like, Lord, what in the world? Why? Because she was getting led by an adult. That's what pissed me off the most. An adult that I've spent my entire, last 15 years around that I would have never thought, she would have led them to a Black Lives Matter event. Yes, that hurt me more than anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Harley didn't need to be exposed, and she didn't need to be out in places like that. And it was like, anything could have happened to you, Harley. Do you not understand? She said, well, ain't Brenda Bennett didn't concern you. I didn't think you needed to know.
Yeah.
Well, baby, whatever you do when it comes to stuff, run it by me. I mean, I might be ejected, but we could talk about it.
Yes.
I said, baby, I'm got your back here. Whatever, I'm your back. There's nobody here but me and you to look out for each other. But when you do things like this, and I find out about it, yes, I fly off the handle. I said, because that was something that you had no business doing.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna call her.
But baby, I love you. I love you, and I know you don't have but a minute or anything. And I'm going to order you some books. And if you talk to Harley, tell Harley I said if she needs money, I'll send her money for her.
Yeah.
But she's going to have to be a little tighter with it than what she was with the other.
And look up that Seaside Grove, because they have like 2-bedroom apartments. And then I bet you if you wanted a room there or whatever. Or not, it's not. We used to live there, so.
I think I remember where it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a everything.
It's right. All right. I love you, baby. Yeah, I love you so much. All right.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Hello. Bruh.
She didn't say any of those things to Harley.
She
I'm
sure
glad that
did.
you
Look
ran.
at Tisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so glad that, we got that brief little call with Harley and it went straight into Brenda and Letitia's telling Brenda all about everything that she said that Harley said. Do you recall?
Harley never said any of that. Letecia
No.
never said any of that. That
Right.
conversation, neither
It
one of
didn't
those
happen.
conversations happened. Tisha Lynn.
Oh, how? So here she's telling everybody all these things that she's going to say to Harley. She actually gets Harley on the phone, and it's just like the soft voice. See how Letecia changed her voice to talk to Harley when she knew it was,
Mm-hmm.
it was right. And then, she says, save me. These, and she's talking about like these people are awful. So immediately she's just talking about all the crazy people there. And then she goes into how she's sick and she hasn't eaten for a few days. And, something about the newspaper calling the jail out for not letting the prisoners wear masks, which actually did happen. That was a thing. And I think Letecia was probably upset that she didn't have COVID because she probably thought she could have sued them because it would have been their fault that she
I
got
was
it. You
just
know what I
gonna
mean?
say. I was just gonna say, like, Letecia, where's all that mouth? You got a lot of mouth
Right.
for Melissa and you got a lot of mouth for Harley, but when it comes right down to it, you ain't say shit.
Right. She didn't say shit. None of it, but then called Brenda right after. In fact, that's something I meant to do while we were listening to the phone call. Okay, so she had the call with Harley on the 12th, and then that call with Brenda was the next day on the 13th.
Yes.
So then these next two calls are both with Harley, both on the 13th. So that call to Aunt Brenda just now, where she put all kinds of words in Harley's mouth, that was November 13th. And then she calls Harley back to back 2 more times that same day. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
That'll
we're
be
going to
interesting.
listen to these next two calls and then we're going to be done for the night. What you think, Allie? You're being awfully quiet over there, pretty girl.
Okay, sorry, I was in the chat and it took me so long to get back out. I was saying hi to Miss Leave It to Beaver.
It's Leave It
I
to
don't have
Beaver.
much thought. Yes, she is.
I have missed her. I did not even see her. Leave It to Beaver. Hey, girl. Hey.
I know. I've been
Sorry.
telling her she needs to come back. But anyways, yeah. I have no thoughts really, except for every time that 1 minute thing, it cracks me up because Brenda's like, okay, honey, I know you ain't got long now. I love you, baby. Bye. And she does that same every time, but she like kind of panics for a second. And that's all my thoughts besides wah, wah, wah.
I
So
mean,
what do you guys think about Letitia's mom actually sent money? Did Deborah send some money and Letitia's lying about it?
oh, What do you girls go first? The guests go
Oh, we'll
first.
never know. I bet she
Yeah, I don't
probably
know.
did.
You do think so?
Yeah, probably did. But meanwhile, Aunt Brenda sent another 300 while Letitia's waiting on Deborah's money. So I mean, there was, Letitia has plenty of reason to say that,
She didn't
she
get
didn't
it.
get that money. And she knows that
Right.
Brenda will have no way of knowing whether she got the money or not.
Exactly.
So probably a lie.
I think I'm going to go with the odds here and agree with you both that I feel like the odds are that it's a lie because I mean, Letecia, you got a credibility issue, ma'am. And then when Aunt Brenda said, I wish Harley just talked to me, I might eject. Eject.
I might eject, right?
You mean
Yeah,
eject?
right. Yeah, that was almost
Object.
as good as when Letitia said that she had to be the mediocre person. Do you
Yes.
mean the mediator? Do you mean
Yes.
the go-between? Because
Yes.
mediocre doesn't mean what I think you think it means.
You keep it. I'm going to have to quote one of my favorite movies, The Princess Bride. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
And also, let's quote the prison files and say, "You're illiterate,"
Right.
to Dr. T.
Right. And meanwhile, so Aunt Brenda wants to buy a house, but run it as a business, an Airbnb, so that she can monitor and guide Harley. And then while Harley's going to school, while Harley's going to real estate school, Harley can use her pretty little face to make Aunt Brenda some money.
Right, to be a process server.
Some money.
Right.
But she had a full come apart because she found two drawers in Harley's car, one in the back seat and one in the trunk. Drawers. They did drawers everywhere. What's she doing, Tisha?
Right. Right. So they've got this all figured out for Harley. Harley's going to move in with Brenda. They're going to run a bed and breakfast. Right. And Harley's going to use her pretty little face to make Aunt Brenda some money. And she's going to go to school to become a real estate agent. Because Harley is just not doing right. So they really need to. Right.
Yeah. During the height of the pandemic when shit shut down. That is a fantastic business plan, Aunt Brenda.
Right. When are they going to tell Harley that they got her future all figured out? And meanwhile, Airbnb has a bad enough name. They're talking about Conway like it's a bad place to live, and I've heard the same. But you're talking about moving a murderer in. So is it really the area that is the problem? I mean, an Airbnb, who lives upstairs? Oh, just me and my niece and her daughter.
Yeah. Can you imagine even being at a bed and breakfast run by Aunt Brenda? You'd get nagged out of there. You get no damn sleep because Aunt Brenda would be telling you everything you ever did wrong with your life and where you could need improvement, and she could tell you exactly how to do all of that. I'd be like, listen, I don't need you to nag me, Aunt Brenda, and I'm tired of your economics lessons, ma'am, because you're over here talking about how you're having a budget, everything. Yet you're sending $300 to Tisha Lynn. Like, if you ain't got it, girl, don't send it. She'll be all right. You think they're going to let her starve up in there? No.
Right. You got Harley using her pretty little face, and you're just giving money to prisoners like it's nothing.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Economics with Aunt B. All right, y'all. Let's hear these last two calls, and then we're going to call it a night. Unless you got something to add, Allie. You got something to add, babe? I don't want to leave you out.
No, ma'am. Nope.
All right, ma'am.
Sure don't.
All right, here we go. Now we're going to listen to Harley. What voice do you think Leticia's going to use today? Will she be Eeyore again? Let's find out.
I don't think so. I think that was just the transition call. Now that they're speaking again, she can take over again.
Nothing, editing my video.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Where's everybody else? Chilling?
Yeah.
Where's the babies?
They're downstairs.
I had a dream the other night, and I tried to call you and come get you, that somebody forgot Chance in the trunk.
Oh my gosh. Why would he be in the trunk?
I don't know, but like, I was freaking out in the dream, and I was like, no, get him out of the trunk. And then I woke up. Yeah. So I don't know why he was in the trunk, but I'm glad he made it out. Are y'all going back on campus in January or no?
I'm not sure yet.
Did you get all your financial aid stuff done?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to pay anything for school.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
Because if it's EFC is 0 because they can't base it on taxes because you're now considered an independent student, then you shouldn't. And I think Brenda, she's going to let me give her the money for the car.
Okay.
I just got to figure out the details with it. She just got the letter from, she said October 16th. I don't know if the letters has been delayed, so that might be why you both ain't got the other ones. You know what I mean? But she said she just got it. The one letter was dated October 16th. She said it just came in mail just now. So
Okay.
I know. So I
Okay.
guess it's just being delayed that long. I don't know. I already mailed them all out. So yeah. So she said no rush for that, but she wanted you to talk to her about it. And I told her, I said, well, I can only talk to Harley about it, but I did lay like some rules down about, if she's letting us buy it, then it ain't, it ain't gonna be all craziness and all that. She's like, I told her, I said, I only thought that what you did was wrong with the whole thing was the whole out of town and stuff like that was wrong without letting somebody know. And so, Amy talked to me about what she said about the other stuff, and I know you're going to say, well, my mom should know how she's raised me and yada, 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 and I do. That wasn't what I said, because you can ask Amy that I said I raised Harley right to make good decisions, but there's a difference between if people are doing things they shouldn't be doing, that's the way I raised you, is you don't be around it at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the thing is not, it's not smart. You can ask Amy. I totally said 100% that I didn't believe that she had done anything like that. And I even told Amy Brennan that. I said, but the way I raised Harley is that she should know not to be involved with anything stupid. Because aren't you supposed to be, don't you want to be doing this thing like Sadie and doing, like speaking, and don't you want to keep involved with your church and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so and I understand that the whole car thing is hindering it. That's why I told Brenda, I said, you got to make a choice, because if not, she's going to have to buy one. And I said, I need to know, but I can only give you $15,000 of it for right now, because she's got to have, I said, Sadie's got to get fixed, this has got to go on, yada, yada. And so she said she's wanting to talk to you. And I said, Brenda said, you can't expect her to go fly off and go somewhere on Sundays and stuff like that, her to miss the church, if that's what she wants to do. If she wants to make it where that's a minor, I don't know if you can get a minor in that at Coastal, but I know that. Do you even want to go to Coastal?
I don't know.
Where do you want to go?
Huh?
Where do you want to go to school?
Where?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously no if I got to choose anywhere, but...
Obviously no? I know, I'm talking about where in South Carolina would you want to go?
Oh.
It's in-state.
Well, yeah, that's where I would choose.
So you choose Coastal?
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have anything to do with what you want with the minor and any kind of biblical studies or anything?
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm going to add money and call you back. It might what?
I said it might. I hadn't looked into it.
Okay, I'm going to hang up and call you back. I got to add money. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
All right. You said it might have it? Because I never saw it on there.
Yeah.
You think they might have added it?
Let's see.
And then what I was going to say is, have you tried looking at like a banker somewhere for a job?
No.
You should try looking at the bank, because they can offer you more consistency. And, I got a feeling you guys are not going on campus yet. I got a feeling you guys are going to be doing online, because a lot of states are pulling back a lot of stuff right now because of how bad it's breaking out again.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't wish that on you guys, because I know you want to go. Whatever. But, well, the main thing I have to talk to you about is the whole thing. I think the biggest thing is, you know, the reason I asked your dad about coastal is you're leaving too much around coastal kids, and you're not used to that. And I think that's where the problem is we have to fix is, first of all, the apartment's just too expensive to be staying in. And second, if it's just going to put you in bad situations, you don't need to be in it.
I don't even talk to anybody from the school. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, your comment to Amy was you was a college area. So did you comment that to Amy?
Yes, doesn't mean that I hang out with everybody in the neighborhood.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking you because that's how I was taking it. Either way it goes, the point is that whenever I found out what the whole thing that Dee Dee had said, you shouldn't be around that at all. Do you disagree with me?
What'd she say?
Dee Dee says she went over to talk to you, and you didn't let her. You went downstairs because she said she could smell pot. That's what she said.
And what?
She said that she could smell pot.
And just like I told, what was I saying? And I already explained to Amy that whole thing.
Okay, and Amy told me. But what I'm asking you is, you're saying there's still someone in the house you're living in. Am I right?
In the house? No.
Yeah. Huh?
In the house? No.
Oh, you're saying that someone in another
Yeah.
like that's near y'all.
Yeah, because, like, they're all connected.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I've been trying to tell everyone. Nobody listens to me.
No, because Amy came back on the phone when Amy told me, and Amy said that it was the boys living with y'all.
No, I told her, I was like, literally everything is all connected. The vents, they all go through each other. You can hear everything. Like, so
there you go. You made the point. And that's what I'm talking about. So my point is that all that there is up. It's probably gonna be smarter for you just to get your own place and then only have one roommate.
And I've looked at that, but they're all like over $1,000.
Right. Okay, but over $1,000. What is half of $1,000? 500.
Half of $1,000 is 500, yeah.
Okay, so 500, and then your utilities will be about 100. That's still $600, right? Without you giving
600 times 12 is what?
Okay, I understand it. 7,200. That's
no. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just trying to do the math.
All right, so $7,200.
$7,200.
You're right. So now, if you weren't getting that discount for working there, it'd still be $600, right? Plus utilities, right?
It would be about $8,500 a year.
How much? 85.
$8,500 a year.
Okay, there you go. And on top of that, don't have to be worried about people around you, not around you as in your apartment, but around you as in near you, because what happens is they call, police, and you guys are just sitting there like, man, we ain't done nothing. That's where I don't want you to get caught up in that, because then that's not good. And I'm going to straighten that out because I understand what you're saying now, and I believe you 100%, because you never told me that part. So I'm going to make sure I let anybody that said something know that that's what you're saying, is that basically the environment reeks of it. Well, I don't like that either for my dogs because they already have enough breathing problems as it is. So that's probably why I was bad dreams about Chance being in the trunk.
Yeah.
All right. And so then you ain't going to have to worry about the whole car situation because we already got that fixed. I got to figure out a way that me and her is going to work it out to give her the best way about going about it with the money and stuff like that. And you still happen to have, like money for a place to live or whatever. she wants to move down there and have a part-time place, and she wants to talk to you about that. And I told her, I said, well, I said, you need to talk to Harley and sit her down. I said, because she's not going to be jerked around. I said, she's a good kid. She's always worked since she was 15. I said, she's always doing what she's supposed to do. I said, but you got to let me be the one to talk to Harley because you don't know how to do it. I told her this. I said, you have to give Harley options and then let her think about them. Then let her weigh them out and then whatever. I said, she's not going to be like, boom, do this right now. That's just not how her mentality thinks. And she's like, I see what you're saying. She said, I did fly off the handle. She said, but I was so upset because I was worried and thinking, well, let me tell you what happened. So Dee Dee tells somebody something, and then, you know what I mean? You know how the telephone game goes, right? And then by the time it got back to Aunt Brenda, she was cursing out Dee Dee when she thought she was cursing out Amy. She should have been, you know what I mean? And it just comes crazy. You get roped in the middle of it for no reason.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like that. And I told her that will not happen again. Like, I will not let you get treated like that and roped in the middle of it again. So if there's any future things that happen or something like that, you got to talk to me first, not talk to all the other adults, because I know how to defuse it with everybody. I know how to be on my child's team, ride or die. So anyway, that's the whole. If not, I told her, I says, we can look at certain places where she can just have one roommate. And I told her, I was like, I like that anyway. I know Amy wanted you to move there, but you don't want to move to Charleston.
Right.
So I understand that. All right. I understand that completely, that you don't want to be Charleston. I mean, if you wanted to go there and go to Charleston, Southern, and it's a Christian school, sure, we'd make it work. But you don't want to go there, then. But I want you to look up, in the meantime, be looking up some like jobs like the bank. And you need to follow up on whatever Amber was talking about with some lady who could teach you to sell some real estate part-time.
Okay.
Follow up on all that, and then when I talk to you again, let me know what you find out. Because if you get you a full-time job, y'all probably going to go to classes online for another semester.
Yeah.
Okay? And we'll figure this out. And I love you, and I'll keep you updated about the money for the car and stuff like that, okay?
Okay. Love you too.
Bye. Okay.
It was stuck. It wouldn't talk. It wouldn't switch. Okay, Allie, what's your thing, babe? Because I already heard. So.
Well, I was like, I was so worried that you weren't going to be able to unmute or something. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just talk and figure something was going on. But, I don't know what to think at this point. I really don't. It's interesting how she kind of changes her tone with Harley. She talks big to Amy and Brenda, and then Harley gets on there. And you know what? I'm ready for Harley to put her foot down and not allow her to control her like that. Like I can see when your parents are helping you, or your family, or whoever is helping you, you should respect them and take in their take into consideration their opinions, but they don't get to just control you like that.
Dictate your life,
yeah. So that's all. I don't really have any other thoughts after that one.
I'm just blown away by how big Letecia talks behind Harley's back, and then when she gets on the phone with Harley, she just acquiesces to her. It's just amazing to me, you know. And I don't care. Listen, I'm not advocating for anybody to do anything, but we all heard it. It was hilarious. Here comes Letecia giving her the lecture about the pots, and there somebody is choking in the background, and Letecia doesn't like miss a beat. You know, she heard that. Everybody heard it, and she just keeps on talking. Not even to ask, hey, is that person all right?
she repeats herself over and over and over, like every call. It drives me crazy. It's like she has like Curious Jen says, like several points to get across, and she makes sure to get those points across, like not once, not twice, multiple times. Every time. And then yes, I can't wait to hear what you guys think about the dog comment, the dream.
Yeah, the
Yeah, that was her
trunk.
opener. Yeah, I had a dream that Chance was in the trunk and he was stuck. Oh, Letecia. She didn't have any. It's all just, oh, she's just sick.
I think she actually is telling the truth, Crime Curious. I think she did have that dream. And I
You
think
think?
that what happens is, yes, I think just like in that interrogation room, when she peed a little, she leaked a little just then. She's a leaker. I think it's her way of coping
Yeah.
with what she did.
Could be.
But
It could be. Did
her,
you?
go ahead.
Oh, no, I think it was that delay thing.
I don't think she cares. I really don't. I think that she probably has dreams about it and stuff, but then at the end of the day, because if she did, then she would stop with all the BS. She's still doing it even now. We know that after those comments about Chomo and all that sent to me. And it's like her pride. She has way too much pride. She cares so much about what people think. She will never care. Like, if she cared, she would care more about that than her pride. You know what I mean? At certain points, even when you mess up in life, you have to be like, okay, I was wrong. Like, and then try to do better when you really do care and you want to do better. She just doesn't. She makes me sick.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think she cares either. I think the dream is real, but I think that, I think it was Chance. And I think the reason she has those dreams is because your brain stores everything that you ever did. You cannot escape your brain. And it doesn't mean that she feels guilty for it or anything like that, but it's her brain's way of saying, say, bitch, we know what you did. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. Yeah. And I wasn't saying that it means that she cares, just because we kind of like branched into that, like a little bit with it's how she deals with it. I agree with you. I think you're right, because your brain, just your memory, you can't help it. Even subconsciously, it's going to come through at times. But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting, because if you think about even in the trial, when they showed the autopsy photos and stuff, she had everything. We saw that in her jail records, and I don't know, the way that she like kind of perked up, it's almost as if, I wonder if that stuff bothers her at all ever, because I get the feeling that it doesn't. Not that she doesn't think about it or doesn't remember. I think she does, but
I agree.
What do you think?
I think that it's the only part, and it was so noticeable because I remember I was streaming it that day, and I remember when they started showing the pictures, that is the only time that not only did she move her Samara hairdo out of her face, there were several times when she smirked looking at those photographs. And I have said it for a very long time. I think that Letecia has the potential. If she hadn't gotten caught, I think that Letecia has a serial killer in her. And I think that she is there's something profoundly wrong with her on just in general. But I think that it's a little deeper than what I might have initially thought. I think now that I'm hearing her and the stuff that she says and all of that, I don't know. Now I'm kind of feeling like she might have been, serial killers come in many different forms. I mean, like, when they talk about like women who they call black widows, those are technically serial killers. Right. Oh, Allie's gone. All right, Jen, what you got?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Oh,
she
God.
popped off like 3 or 4 times during this mess.
So for me, the quote of that phone call was, You know the game of telephone? Letecia, you're saying that other people are getting the story wrong as it passes from one person to the other because the details become skewed? No, you are an entire game of telephone. Just you.
Yes, she relates. She's the bad connection. You're skewed.
Right. Right.
Sorry, I keep falling off. I did not know with an Android, if you touch the edge of your screen, like barely touch it, on the left it'll take you back, and on the right it'll take you forwards. And like my screen cracked down the side, and I keep messing up and like kicking myself off. So
that happens when you're my phone doesn't do it used to do that, but my phone's like, girl, you've had me for 3 years. I need to retire. I'm not doing shit. Mine doesn't do that anymore. My phone's like, girl, I'm done.
And I thought it was interesting that Letecia finally told Harley that she needs to get a job at a bank, because she's been saying she already said that,
Yes,
for days. And so she finally got around to saying it. And now what she said is true. Well, no, it's still a lie, because she was saying that she did it and that was a lie. But now that she actually has done it, it's Letecia land.
Yeah, exactly. She's so ridiculous.
And the thing that really made me think about the phone call was the part where, and it was close to the beginning, where Letecia said, she was talking about Aunt Brenda, and she was like, well, she's going to go ahead and let me give her the money for the car. And you hear Harley just drop, and it's just like, okay. Because here Harley thinks this $25,000 is coming, $15,000 of it is going to go to a car. I'm not going to have to deal with Aunt Brenda. I don't like the car anyway.
Yes.
There's so much bad energy all over the whole damn thing. Everybody with half a brain knows that involving yourself deeper with Aunt Brenda after she did you the favor of repossessing that car.
Right.
Everybody with half a brain knows that this is a bad move. And Letecia, for Letecia, it's perfect because, she's teaching Harley a lesson. And I think she said, I even wrote it down. Hold on. Laid the rules down. Letecia said she laid the rules down for old Aunt Brenda. With how it was going to be.
Nothing down but your
She
wife's
didn't lay nothing. Oh God. And it just, you hear Harley sink, and she's just like, okay, because there's nothing she can say about it. Now we all know that the reason why Letecia has made this decision is not to teach Harley a lesson, and it's not because she laid the rules down to Brenda. It's right. It's because the car already exists. Brenda's already willing to give it back to Harley.
Exactly.
Correct.
And Letecia knows the money is imaginary.
Correct. Yep. And she knows for certain that she can still yank Aunt Brenda's chain, because on that last phone call between the two of them, Aunt Brenda was emphatic. Now that's Harley's car. I don't want that car, Tisha Lee, and I bought that for Harley.
Right.
She was adamant about it. Let me just address something just really quick. River, she's not joking with her daughter about having her father in her trunk. She's talking about Chance, the dog. They named the dog after Harley's father. I'm not even going to go into all the Freudian issues in that, but it is what it is.
Right.
I don't even know if that's Freudian, but I like the way that sounds. So Freudian it is.
And at this point, Harley has flat out fallen out of love with Chance. And Sadie is her dog and her baby. But she doesn't say that when she's talking to her mother, because her mother still thinks of Sadie as her baby. And in fact, Letecia refers to Harley as Sadie's sister. Well, no, not sister, sissy.
Right.
Letecia refers to Harley as Sadie's sissy. And Harley slipped up. I've heard her do it twice. And she slipped up twice and referred to herself as like Sadie's mom.
Oh
you
dear.
know, and yeah, and she
That's
caught
how you
herself.
get on the list, Harley. You want to
Yeah,
get on the
right,
list because that's how you do it.
right. But that's definitely, you know, how it went down. And at this point, Harley's getting real sick of having two dogs, and Sadie's
Well,
her baby.
the fact of the matter is they're small, they're small dogs and they're young dogs. And you gotta have you gotta be the right kind of person and you gotta have the right kind of environment. And a footloose and fancy free 18-year-old ain't it.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I was 18, I had a Pekingese, and I swear his name was Spanky. He was so cute because he had that, you know, that underbite that they have where their bottom teeth stick out. But this dog, y'all, he used to drive me nuts. I would walk him around Hell's Half Acre to go potty, and he wouldn't do it. And then he would come in the house and promptly poop behind my ficus tree every single time. Used to drive me nuts. So it was a lot, you know, because I was 18, I had my own place, and I had a very active social schedule. I partied Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, recouped on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, I was always doing something, but I wasn't at the club. The club was Wednesday night. That's how it started, on Wednesday night. So there's no way, you know, and I realized that it was mean to him. He needed me to be home. So I ended up having to find another home for him. But I mean, I had no business having a puppy at 18. I had no business. I was partying too much. So, and working. I mean, I had to support the party. Also, I had to, you know, pay bills. I had to have a roof over my head and stuff like that. So I just feel, I mean, I don't know. You can tell when Harley's done listening to her mom because she defaults to the dogs.
Well,
She'll
she's got
start
to check
calling
out at
Chance
some
and
point.
Sadie. Yeah.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah.
Just like when her mom pretends that somebody's talking to her.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just
She did
like
it
it's a
this call.
defense
Okay.
mechanism. Oh, okay,
Both
yeah,
of
okay,
them.
all right. Right.
I still can't get over Brenda. Every time it's like 1 minute, she's like, "Okay, okay, baby. I know you only got a minute. I love you, baby."
Right. Like
She just gets so
they're going to
startled.
come over and smack her or something for going over.
Yes, she gets so startled and like panicked. Like, poor
Yeah.
man.
Okay,
I
Tisha.
can't help
Okay,
it.
baby. Well, I love you so much.
I know that she's, you know, full of herself and all the things, but I cannot help it but feel sorry for her. I really can't. She didn't hurt nobody. And all she's done, even though it's like you're helping this brutal murderer, but at the end of the day, it's her family, it's her niece, and she's elderly. She's still working. And I know that she has her, I'm not saying she's perfect or she's never been wrong. I'm just saying I can't help but feel sorry for her because yeah, you're just watching her be manipulated. They all trash talk her, and
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
while
see,
she
I
does
don't have
everything to help them.
I don't have an ounce of sympathy for Brenda. That's where we differ.
This
See,
is
I
what
do.
I'm
I can't help it.
curious about with
I have it
the
for all of
family.
them.
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm curious about with Leticia's family. At what point did the various members of the family, when did they know? When did they
I
know
don't
that?
know.
I think in these we need to. Let me head up the Googles right quick to
Well,
find out
remember,
when that. Go ahead, Beth. What were you ready to
remember
say?
Dakota said, like her brother said on the stand, that they were all convinced that she was being targeted and that they were all being blamed for things they didn't do. And if you think about it, even Letitia, or not Letitia, even Landon and Al both thought, even at the end when they knew that all the blood evidence was there and stuff, they're like still shocked that she could do it. So it wouldn't be a stretch to think that probably for a while they believed she was being, you know, wrongly accused. Surely, you know, after the trial, hopefully they all have open eyes with that. But
How would I find? I mean, I have the arrest warrant, you guys, but I'm trying to figure how would I go about ascertaining. Here we go. This is from the Denver Post, Gannon Stout case, leaked arrest affidavit outlines case against Letecia. And that was on April 3rd, 2020.
Yeah.
So we're talking about November. That had been leaked for some time.
Oh yeah.
So I need, and you're right, Allie. Her brother did testify to that, but I would like to know from each individual family member exactly when did they know?
Oh,
when
yeah.
did it change for
I would
them?
like to
When
too.
did they decide?
Well,
Hey, Aunt
Dakota-
Katrina. Now we've been listening
Dakota-
to these calls for a while. Hold on, Jen. We've been listening to these calls for a while, Aunt Katrina, and we see how badly you were trash. Call me. My email's in the about section. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us your side of the story. Okay, Jen. There you go. Sorry about that, babe.
No, I was just going to say that Dakota testified that he knew that she had done it as soon as Gannon's body was found in the suitcase.
That's
See,
true.
I've thought about going
And
back to rewatch the trial because I'm telling you, I would get so much from a second time. So I only watched each day once, and there were many things at the end of the day that other people caught that I didn't. So I've really thought about like trying to rewatch, especially specific witnesses.
yes. Now I also remember her brother testifying that he thought she must have snapped, and it didn't really hit him exactly what had happened until she came up with the insanity defense. Then he was having none of it.
Right.
So I would be really curious though, but again, we don't hear her brother on these phone calls that I know of, not up until this point yet. So
Well,
what I'd like to know is, just from Aunt Brenda, from Aunt Katrina, from friend Amy, I would like to know, when did y'all know? Because I know y'all knew at some point. When did y'all know?
With Amy, it's like during these calls, she's kind of called her out on a thing or two. It's November. It's been 9 months. She's younger. Like the older people, I might give them a little grace with technology and things. I'm sure that they stay. Brenda works. She's a process server. She stays on top of the court stuff, I'm sure. But regardless, I would think by this point, Amy would probably know, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just, but she doesn't seem like she does. She seems like she kind of believes Tisha. So
I
I don't
don't see
know.
how anybody can read that arrest affidavit and the evidence that they have, and that's only the evidence that they use to get an arrest warrant. It's not everything. And I don't understand how anybody can read that arrest affidavit and not think that they have a solid case against her. At least, okay, can't they like have reasonable themselves? Why they don't doubt her story? It's like what I don't understand is the way they all go along with this. Except for apparently Aunt Katrina, she's done had enough, and she went ahead and escalated the call to the lawyers and was like, listen here, I don't know what this lady is doing, but I think you should know.
Then you have to wonder about, even if they think she did do it and she snapped or something, there's a certain level of support you'd probably have for family members anyways, and some people would support their family no matter what they did. I've heard opinions all over. Some people say I could not support my family member through that, and I've heard the other way too. So I don't know.
Crackdown, the only people that showed up in court was her brother, and that's because he was called to testify. But as far as everybody, nobody stood up for her at when the verdict came down. They weren't there. And now the story goes that they were told not to be there. Crime Curious knows that better. What was that? What was the deal with that, Jen?
So Aunt Brenda said in a phone call from prison, so after the trial, Aunt Brenda told Letecia that her attorney had told Aunt Brenda that family wasn't allowed to come because it was a security issue. And I reached out to, well, Letecia's response to that was, well, he's not my attorney anymore, so I'm gonna file a charge against him with the bar, or whatever she said. And then I reached out to Tellini, and he said he never said any such thing. But allegedly, the reason her family didn't come is because they were told they weren't allowed. But that's just what they told Letecia. I mean, what would Letecia have told them?
Exactly.
It's just not true.
I think they didn't. I think they knew. I
Yeah.
don't know how. I'd like to say that I would be one way or another as far as if it were my family. But the truth of the matter is, thankfully, knock on wood, I don't know. I honestly, I haven't experienced that, and I don't know how it would be. So I've one thing that I've learned from covering these cases is, I don't know how I would deal with it. So I try really hard not to say, well, I would or I wouldn't, because I don't know how I would be in that position. I'll tell you this right now, though. I can't imagine a scenario where if Letecia was my family member, that I would have anything to do with her, to be quite frank. She's just not my kind of person, period. And that's without, even if none of this had ever happened. She just has her personality is like a cheese grater. It's terrible. And I wouldn't be able to get along with her. She talks too much and uses words incorrectly. And, I couldn't do it. We would not be friends. The friendship door is closed. So there you go.
Right. So I am currently making a playlist called Stauch Trial Key Witness Testimony, because I saw some comments in the chat of people who want to rewatch the trial, but maybe not all of it. I mean, it was 20 days of trial. So I have these videos that I worked with Crime Talk. And so what I did is I took Crime Talk's videos of when they covered the trial on those days, and I removed all of the breaks and, all of the off the record stuff. And so it's just the key witness testimony. And like if somebody testified over a couple of days, it's per witness. So what I have is I have the opening statements. I have Albert's testimony, Harley's testimony, Dakota's testimony, Jessica Bethel's testimony, Kevin Clark's testimony, Jonathan Grusing's testimony, Dorothy Lewis, and then Torres Moore Grimmett. So I did, all of the mental health witnesses, but then Grusing, Clark, Bethel for law enforcement. And then as far as family and friends, it was Dakota, Harley, and Albert. And then, of course, the opening statements and the closing statements. But I'm going to put all that into one playlist. And so if anybody wants to revisit those, it'll be really easy to find. And
Well, good.
you don't have to worry about forwarding through hour-long breaks and all that stuff.
Well, will you share it on your community tab? Because I want to watch it too.
Well,
and I'll share it on mine.
It'll be on my homepage, so I'm populating it now, but it does already exist.
On the homepage.
And I can put a link. I can put a link in the chat too. So let me just add this.
Okay.
This is the real question, but do you have Iked Malyon? Tisha, that's my favorite. So please, Jen, reach out to him for me and get him to do that again one more time so I can get a clip of it. Please.
That's funny.
I need that. Okay, now I want to talk about this proffer letter because we were talking about this earlier. The truth is that it's not the letter that's sealed, it's the interview. Right, Jen? We have the letter is the letter. The letter is out there, but it's the actual interview that's sealed. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. We were talking about this interview. Now, I want you guys, if you didn't follow this case, that it's over now, but it's a good one to watch. Charlie Adelson. Okay, so one of the state's witness, which was a co-conspirator and a co-defendant, she had already had 2 trials. There was a mistrial in her first trial, so she had a retrial last year, Catherine McBanois. She actually gave 2 different proffer interviews, okay? And those interviews were sealed. They were sealed until Charlie Adelson's trial was over. So while Harley's proffer interview may be for now sealed, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will be sealed forever. Because they brought it up at the trial, I would suspect, and we can ask Chris about this. This is a good thing from Chris, but just from stuff that I've watched over the years, that what I would think, I think what they would do is they probably sealed it for X amount of time. They probably want to give Harley time to be away and out of the trial for time to pass. But at some point, it will be unsealed. They seal stuff like this all the time. Adam Montgomery's probable cause or arrest affidavit for the murder of Harmony was sealed. They sealed stuff in Letecia's case as well. Like some of the search warrants all the search warrants were sealed, but they become unsealed after, at some point. And so I think that eventually it's not going to be sealed until the end of time. I'm sure there's a time limit on it. It's about asking the right person at the right place, and we can get the answer. And I will. Jen and Allie are working on that. We're trying to figure out, who to ask and how to figure it out. And yes, she was 18 when she got when she gave that interview, the proffer interview. Something that we don't talk about very frequently, and it only comes up every so often in these calls. Harley had an attorney throughout this time. While she's on the phone in November, October, when we started the jail calls that we ordered, Harley's had an attorney the entire time. She's had an attorney. So it is, that's just, it's not a judgment against her. Look, I'm telling you right now, if I were Harley, I would have an attorney too. That's just, she's being investigated. They thought that she was an accessory after the fact. And I think that, they investigated her, and they, for whatever happened. She didn't get charged with it. It is what it is. People, however you guys feel about it is how you feel about it. But at the end of the day, she wasn't charged. So, there's that.
Okay, so I created the playlist and I tried to put a link in the chat, but then I remembered that I don't have a wrench on your channel, so I can't do links.
What kind? Talk in the chat, please, ma'am. I thought you did. Sorry. You made it to the ninth. Now you about to make it to wrench. Hang on just a second.
Talk in the chat.
Talk in the chat, would you? Could you? Please, please, please. Just say something, and I will make you a wrench. I can't believe it. I thought you had a wrench.
Shaking the bush, boss.
There
Shaking
she
the
is.
bush.
All right. Oh, look at all my messages. What should I pick, class? Go to channel, pin message, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel, or add. I'm going to put you in timeout for 500 years. Add as moderator.
You should hide me permanently.
No way, Jose. I need you to drop that link.
Did you guys see that? I think I sent you a screenshot. I can't remember what I was even watching, but I went into somebody's YouTube channel that I had never been to before. It was covering something I was interested in. And I went to make a comment in chat, and it said, you must be a subscriber of this channel for 8 weeks before you could make a comment. 8
Holy
weeks?
guacamole. I don't even turn subscribe. I've only used subscriber only mode way back when I very first started my channel, because I used to get the bots in here that would drop their links.
Right.
So that was my way against, but then some of those bots got smart. Now how they did it, I don't know. Oh,
It
look,
looks like
look
I
at
have...
Christine G. That's me coming in with the link.
Yay!
Oh,
Well
coming
played,
in hot.
Christine G. That's me.
Nice moves, kid.
Look at and she has a little key emoji. She's so smart. I did Pitbull, but I had to say it kind of cleverly because YouTube don't like that. But yeah, those are the only people. I don't have anybody blocked on my channel but those bots. Okay, now she's got it. Please disregard the earlier link. This is the correct link according to Christine G. That's me.
Yeah, so it's just called Key Witness. It says Stauch Trial Key Witness Testimony. And I just added Dr. Torres Part 1. Put that in order. Beautimus.
Yay, there you guys go.
Yeah, so it's opening statements: Albert, Harley, Dakota, Jessica, Kevin Clark, Grusing, Dorothy Lewis, Dr. Torres, Dr. Moore, Dr. Grimmett, and then her first sanity exam, and then the closing arguments is what I have there.
Okay.
And it's just no breaks, no nonsense.
I thought Dr. Torres did amazing. I actually really liked her. I can see why Letecia didn't, though.
Yeah.
Because she was not going to be able to BS her. You know who I would really, really love to analyze Letecia? Dr. B. I would love for Dr. B to be able to get in there and give her the tests and speak with her. And I would love to hear Dr. B's analysis on Letecia Stauch. I really would. I would love to hear what she says. Because I actually think that Dr. B would be able to actually diagnose Letecia. Because I think with Dr. Torres, bless her heart, I think Dr. Torres educationally and intellectually, I should say, would completely be able to diagnose Letecia, but because she has to see so many, patients or whatever, and her caseload is so high, I think that if she'd had more time with Letecia, like unlimited time with her, I think that, she touched the screen again. I think that she would have been able to get down to it with her. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that's what's needed, but because, she's was spread so thin, bless her heart, she couldn't, but I would love for Dr. B to get in there with her. Yes, Tisha, Marie, we will be live tomorrow night over on Allie's channel. After we end this, I got to talk to the girls about what we want to do for Thanksgiving, because I'm not sure that you guys want to be spending your Thanksgiving with Tisha Lynn and her shenanigans. So we might take Thanksgiving off, or maybe come on like later, and maybe just do something not Letecia, try to have a little fun or something. I keep getting suggested from Law and Crime, like their cops or their jail show, like their little shorts of it or whatever. And so yeah. Seriously,
Yeah.
you guys want to hear Letecia on Thanksgiving? Lord, I don't know how Letecia and turkey will go. I'm not making Thanksgiving dinner this year because the kids, everybody's not coming back until Christmas. So, but I've been nagging my husband for like 2 days to do the Christmas tree. All I wanted to do is put it together so I can make sure that all the lights work and stuff still. And all I keep thinking about is stepbrothers, because the other house we had, there wasn't room in the living room for the tree. And all I can think about is stepbrothers. You know, we have plenty of room for activities, but there's nobody here to do activities with.
Mhm.
I'm all alone. It's just me and the cats and Nestor. So
Oh,
Letitia would
yeah, I
make people,
guess.
I will say that. That's a good point, Lisa. Letitia would make Lisa feel better about her own family. I mean, you know, if we start judging it, you know, measuring people by on a scale of 0 to Letitia, you know, nobody we'll all feel better about ourselves. Excuse me. All
Yeah,
right,
I
you
guess
guys.
my final thought on the calls from tonight, that last call where Letitia, you know, tells Harley, okay, now that I've settled all of this problem, now this never would have been a problem if you all would have left me in charge instead of going around and doing stuff behind my back, you know, because I know how to defuse the situation. And
Right.
you know what she means is she knows how to manipulate everybody back into place. She's
Correct. I
not
don't want you all
diffusing
collaborate.
anything.
I don't want y'all cahooting behind my
Right.
back and getting the story straight. Hell no. No, thank you.
Right. So then, you know, her ending the call that way and saying, you know, and I will 100% have your back, my child's back, you know, and then she refers to herself as ride or die.
Yeah. There's a lot. There is a whole lot of inner. That's another thing. I would like Dr. B to listen to these calls and analyze the relationship, you know, come to some conclusions about exactly what type of toxicity we're dealing with here with Letitia and Harley's
Right.
relationship.
And I guess so my final thought is I know that at some point Harley got therapy, and I'm glad. I'm really glad, because if anybody needs it, uh, you know, I just feel like it would be wasted on Letitia. But, you
Yeah.
know, so I don't know if at this point in November of 2020, if Harley's in therapy. You know what I mean? I hope
Right.
so.
Right.
Because everything that we've just heard, especially in the last 2 nights,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Harley is everybody's hyper focused on Harley, including the murderer,
Yes.
you know, as if Harley has done some shit wrong. Like Harley screwed up. We all need to focus on Harley. I hope, I don't know if she was in therapy by November of 2020 or not. I
I
know that, you know, by the time it came around to trial, she was definitely.
Yeah. I think it might have taken her some time to come around to even realizing. See, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why I don't
Right.
like to use the word normal, because normal is relative. You see, we sit and listen and we hear Letitia and Harley's conversations and we are aghast.
Right.
However, this is what Harley is used to.
It's normal.
Just right. Just like if
Yeah.
you came into my house, right? And when I have all the kids here, because then now they're all adults. And even when they were teenagers, especially their late teenagers, you know, the same sarcastic person all day, 25/8. This is all just the only setting I have. Okay. And if you were to come into my house and listen to me and the kids joke around with each other, and it is jokes, but we all have that same real dry, sarcastic sense of humor. People from the outside might hear a conversation and be like, Jesus, do these people love each other at all? And it's because you don't know, right? But so for Harley, I think it probably took her a little while before she realized, holy hell, this ain't right. This isn't
Right.
how it's
I mean, at
supposed to
this
be.
point, at this point, is she just thinking that she really screwed up because she was disrespectful to Aunt Brenda and it's all her fault? and now she's,
I
the car's been taken away. Now the car's going to be given back, but it's like a punishment because of, oh God.
I kind
As
of feel
confused
like,
as we are, imagine being
yeah,
Harley. That's all I'm saying.
like I kind of feel like Harley is probably thinking more along the lines of she's the reason why Aunt Brenda is, talking to her mom, and her mom is worried about her. Like, I think she has that guilt, the guilt of making her mom worry. Because if Leticia's been sending out messages, starting with friend Amy, tell Harley that that she's going to make me lose my mind, stuff like that. And that is not the first time that she has said that. So I think if anything, Harley probably has the guilt of making her mom worry or stressing her mom out. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure that she's got friend Amy and probably maybe Aunt Katrina even saying, listen, you got to quit, doing whatever it is you're doing to get Aunt Brenda hyped, because then Aunt Brenda talks to your mom and your mom can't do anything. She's locked up.
Right. And then we have that, that scientific term, freak out.
Yes.
Causing freakouts. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you already know I waffle back and forth with the topic of Harley, but at the end of the calls today, I'm feeling some sympathy.
Kathy wants to know, have you ladies ever had so many following any other cases this much before? Yes, there's other cases that are people follow like this, but there's something, and I didn't cover the Watts. So I can't count myself in there, but I think it's been a very, very long time since there has been a case like this. I think when Adam Montgomery goes to trial, I think that it's going to have the same impact. There is this, but it's people are interested in the case itself, but also Letecia is, she should be studied for real. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm being totally serious. There's something, she's one of those, there's people, unfortunately, kill other people all the time. It's not like murder is not that uncommon. Unfortunately, as sad as that is, it's just truth. But we very rarely get a predator's not the right word, a perpetrator like Letecia.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for us, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like to compare this case to the Watts case in any way, shape, or form, because there's no questions left as far as the case goes with Letecia. Now it's more about understanding, because like I said before, I really think it's important, if we're going to tell Gannon's story, which that is the victim in this, and that's who we're supposed to be speaking for and reminding people about, is to understand how it happened, how it got to this point. And the only way to do that is to listen to this kind of stuff, because in court it's very different. The state has a goal, and that is to get beyond a reasonable doubt. That's that, right? And then the defense is, to try to create reasonable doubt. But so they can't show us all this stuff, but I very much wanted to understand the dynamic in that household. And I think this is as good of an insight as we're going to be able to get. I mean, you have to keep in mind, Letecia is very well aware that she is being recorded. And I think she even plays into that. There are certain things that she says on these calls that are not actually intended for the person who she's speaking to hear.
Right. And it helps, reviewing these calls has helped me solidify a lot of things. Like, if I go back to Albert's testimony, to include the pretext calls where he was telling her, all right, now I don't need you to spin it now like you do, you know, and she got very offended. But that is precisely what we watched or what we listened to her do with this round of phone calls. Every one of the phone calls that she made was a spin campaign to take a situation and turn it into something else, changing the focus, getting people on the same page, not because they've all been told the truth, but they've all been told the right lie that allows her, that's exactly what he meant. So, now when I heard him say it in court, about her spinning things.
Yes.
It's one thing to, I knew what he was talking about when I heard him say it, right?
I didn't.
But it's
No,
a whole new
precisely
level.
what he meant. Yeah.
Right. It's a whole new level to actually listen to her and just watch her work,
Yes.
and listen to her spin. And that's exactly what he means when he
Yes.
says that she spins things. And now we just get to see it in action.
No, not
So
yet, Christine. That's in December. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, I'm following Lori too, the Vallow case, and I will be following Chad when he goes to trial too. I'm curious how this is all going to play out in Arizona for Lori, and what if any other people might be facing charges in Arizona. I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, we've been on here for 3 hours now, you guys, and it's 11:30 at night over here. I know it didn't feel like it was that long, but I'm tired, and I know that we've got many calls still to go through. We were only on call number 23 or 25. We have 44 altogether.
Yeah.
25. We have 44 altogether. So we still have quite a bit of ways to go. Plus we have December, and we're working on, the next set. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it so much. Welcome to the new members. Thank you for joining membership. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. Your support is amazing, and I'm so grateful for it. I would like to invite you guys to please give your girl a thumbs up on the stream. It helps keep me in the algorithm. Share it out if you feel like it. If you've got friends that are talking about Letecia Stauch and want to hear her craziness, send them on this way. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be live over on Alex Erickson's channel. And that's all I got. So good night, everybody. Have a great rest of your Monday night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. And yes, Christine G was a great mod this last 15 minutes. Thank you, Chris. You were there when it mattered. That's what's important. Good night, y'all.